Yo, it's definitely the Cloud Chaser TV, man. We back up in this thing again, you dig? Hey, man, we got some news to report when it comes down to this whole Math Hoffa situation. Now, if y'all don't know, we interviewed Esso, we interviewed Hynaken, as well as Space Ghost, Bigger, you know what I'm saying, and Champ. You know, I haven't heard this interview. I'm going to do a reaction, you know what I'm saying, non-biased platform, just to, you know what I'm saying, fill it out to see if he said anything differently from what he had told me in the interview. But from what I'm hearing, though, is like people saying that Champ is speaking the truth. You know what I'm saying? So we going to get to that. You dig? And we going to ask these questions, put it to the general public, and see what y'all talk about. You feel me? We got Angie in the building. Yo, Angie.
What's up, y'all?
The word?
What up?
Hold on, Angie. Let me put you on the screen. Yo,
What's
let
up,
them know.
y'all?
What's the word?
What's good? Listen, I checked out the interview this morning. I had to go holler at Chuck because I said, yo, after watching this interview, I kind of feel different about some things. So I had to let Chuck know, like, yo, we got to check this out.
No, for sure. No, I appreciate it. Like, we going to get to it, though. We going to get to the business. Yo, Daryl, salute, family. Daryl in the building. Salute, my boy. Yeah, y'all share this live. Right now, we streaming on Shorts feed. You know what I'm saying? Let's get this shit up, man. Hit the heart buttons or whatever, the like button, whatever y'all got to hit. You did? Let's get to it, though.
Chuck?
Yeah, we live on YouTube, live and direct. Down for the Cloud Chaser. So y'all can follow us on all platforms. Follow Angie as well, Angie World's podcast. You know what I mean? And let's get to it, gang. Shit crazy, though.
Let's go.
After I done worked all day, and I was told after the interview. Now, let me just give you the timeline.
We going from the beginning, Chuck?
Yeah.
I got up.
This is the beginning?
Got the call around like 9, 10 a.m. Yo, I need you to pull up to the crib. I pull up to the crib. What's good? Yo, we got I'll be out tonight. You know, want to talk about like, you know, what questions we gonna ask, stuff like that, like prep shit. All right, cool. I'm in the crib. Nobody else, me, right? I'm in the crib, prepping or whatever, different questions, whatever. Then it turns into, yo, we got to start getting sponsors, right? I'm like, all right, cool. All right, what about such and such from this brand? I ain't gonna name it, but oh, word, bro. But nah, I don't fuck with something like that. I said, nah, nigga, call that nigga, man. Call that nigga. Whatever that was, that shit is done with. Call that nigga. Let's get some money. So reluctantly, he called him. He called him. They had a great conversation. Meeting was set up for another day. I'm like, see, boom, there you go. That's all it takes is a phone call. Bang. So time progresses. I'm still at the crib. Now it's time to start for me to go open the shop like I usually do. I had a key. I would open the shop, close it, clean it, all of that stuff. I grabbed the equipment. Huh?
Yeah, he had to take a shot.
What he said?
He said, who's he? No. Who's key?
Oh,
no, it's Space Ghost.
Yeah, you know, he changed the locks and all of that shit.
No, he didn't have to because I gave the key back.
You didn't steal the key, Ghost?
I didn't steal anything.
Oh, okay.
So Space Ghost is saying that it was alleged going on that he stole the key to the shop. You know what I'm saying? I think I remember something like that. You know what I'm saying? Where they were saying that Space Ghost had ran off with the key. He didn't want to get a key back because he stopped answering Math phone calls. You feel me? You remember that, Angie, when Math was saying that? You say what?
Yeah, I remember that. That's when that's why Champs was saying like, oh, he changed the locks.
No, facts. So Space Ghost in this clip, he's saying that he did get the key back. Ain't that what he's saying?
Yeah.
He's saying he did get the key back and he didn't have to change the locks for that reason and all that. But at the end of the day, if somebody is ex-employees or some shit like that, I think I would change the locks. What about you?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, no, that's a fact.
Or if I didn't change the lock, I would just add a new lock on top. Like I would add like another lock. So if you got two locks, even if he has the key to one, he can't get in if the other one's locked.
No, that's a fact. Add that shit.
Yeah.
Let's get to it though. Let's see what he's talking about.
So Champ got Ghost's original key.
Yeah, I probably still got it on my keychain
to the barber
somewhere.
shop. Oh my God! But all right, champ.
So now
you open up.
I get the equipment. I leave. I go to the shop, open it up, clean up, and all of that. But when I get, actually, I'm lying. Excuse me. KK had opened up the shop. The shop was open already, and Albial was there.
All right.
He was already there. So I get there. I bring the equipment. They start setting up or whatever. Albial like, yo, what up? Where boy at? And I'm like, yo, he on his way. So then I say about half an hour passes. He calls me. He's like, yo, bro, I need you to come get me. And I'm like, what happened? You know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, I need you to come get me because the car's not starting. You know, whatever the car he got in his girl's name.
How can we call you? He can't take
exactly,
an Uber?
And it's only 2 minutes away, 5 minutes away from the barbershop. I'm like, all right, that's, you know, because that's what I usually do.
Well, look, man, if it's 5 minutes to the barbershop, right? And I'm close to the barbershop, and I know Angie, she at the barbershop. I know she got a vehicle. I'm probably gonna call her and say, yo, shit, I'm right down the street. You think you can pick me up real quick? My car just stopped.
Nah, cause like this is the thing. We got like, I don't know if you want to keep with the clips or you want to watch with the interview, because he sets it up in the interview, the whole context, how he was with him from the beginning of the day. He was working that whole day. He had to take equipment and all that stuff to the spot. He had to do like a lot of things. So they were saying like, yo, why couldn't Math Hoffa just jump in an Uber if it was down the street? So he had to open the shop. He was setting up, or there was other people there. He was like running around, going to the liquor store, doing this, doing that. And then Math was saying basically like, oh, my car's not starting. Do you think you can stop what you're doing and come get me? So he's like the chauffeur. He's setting up everything. He's helping this. He's like setting up what he's explaining now is like the last straw of what made him say like, I'm out. Like he's setting up the whole day of how he started that whole day working. And then that whole clip of Math Hoffa just being like, okay, my car's not starting, come get me. It's like, yo, you can't just get in the Uber. That's kind of why they said that or whatever.
So at that point, like, so with all the other things that was going on, he basically was like on some shit like, you know what? I ain't rocking with him like that. But he not telling Mav, but he, in a sense, he feeling that way. He ain't rocking with him like that. Because my thing is, if, like I said, my brother, my sister called me and I'm down the street from the damn family function or some shit, and I know everybody there, and my car just stopped and say I gotta wait for AAA or something. Why wait for AAA? I'm gonna call, you know what I'm saying, my people, Uber. Yeah, I could do an Uber, but like, come on, like I'm going to the same place you going to. I'm only down the street.
He just left him. He was, I think he was at home. I don't think he was stranded anywhere. I think he was on his way. He was late or whatever. And he was like, yo, come get me. And I think Champs was saying that he was already there setting up and doing stuff, and he had just left him or something like that. So I don't know if you want to like keep on with this, but yeah, he was setting that up in that clip.
So you got it was some clips on, who page was it on? The clips.
I didn't watch the clips. I watched the interview.
Oh, the whole thing.
Yeah. But
I got you.
like, I don't know if you want to just do like 10, because they start like off the rip with, you know what I'm saying? They start off the rip with everything. So I don't know if you want to watch like 5 minutes of it and then stop, or you want to just do the clips.
Hold on, let me see what they talking about. Like, so
because I'll send you the interview.
Oh, I see it right here.
It's on the I'm gonna send it to you now.
Turn shipping to your advantage.
I just sent it to you, Chuck.
Vacuum, baby.
Cake.
Yeah, let me ask the question. Let me ask the hard question. What was the cause of y'all break? Fuck it. Like, what's the reason why you're not there anymore?
Well, the straw that broke the camel's back was the night of the Albial interview. After I done
you talking about right here or before this?
And I was told after the interview. Now, let me just give you the timeline.
I got myself on mute because I'm pressing play to see if that's where it is.
That means that I did my
second.
You just don't feel icky about doing that just from we all around the same age. The essence of hip hop is to be original and not say copy, but
no, it's called trolling.
Oh, okay.
It's called trolling.
Marketing and trolling.
It's not. I don't feel like it's. I don't feel like it's copyright infringement. Nothing. First of all, I own that shit. I own my honest opinion, right? I own the domain name. I own the trademark, everything, right?
What?
So I said, motherfuckers don't be having any business straight.
Hold on.
Chuck, I just sent you the link.
Wow. Yeah, I got it. It's up. We playing it right now. This is crazy. So Champion said that he owns the shit. Man, get the fuck out of here.
That's why I'm saying we gotta watch this shit.
Hey, Mac Man, what's up, bro? He pulled a whack 100 on Math Hoffa or something, bro. I can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
My bad. I had the mic off. Check it out. Hey, yo, you know what though, Chuck? That is a whack 100. Cause, but damn, man. You know what I'm thinking about, Chuck? I'm thinking that the whole time niggas be fucking with each other. Niggas really don't be fucking with each other, bro. It be some facade shit. It seems like it's like some backstabbing shit when you sitting around me and you know what I mean, and you plotting my downfall or you're plotting your escape or your escape got something to do with you. You know what I'm saying? It's to me, man. It feel like some bitch shit. To be honest.
Yeah,
man.
but like at the end of the day, bro, like I'm saying though, like that sound like some sleazy shit. You know what I'm saying? Champ talking about, oh yeah, niggas gotta have their business straight and all that. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, that's not even a winning battle with a motherfucker who got the, you know what I'm saying? The what do you call it?
Is he trolling?
He said he trolling. I hope he is, but let's go back a little bit. Let's hear back.
Yeah, we gotta watch this so he could explain himself. Because I watched it earlier.
Let's go back.
Peace, Angie.
We gonna stop it a few times and respond to it.
Right.
Even when you talk about like the foundation of things, you know what I'm saying? That means that I did my homework.
You just don't feel icky about doing that just from we all around the same age. The essence of hip hop is to be original and not say copy, but
no, it's called trolling.
Oh, okay.
It's called trolling.
Marketing and trolling.
It's not. I don't feel like it's. I don't feel like it's copyright infringement. Nothing. First of all, I own that shit. I own my honest opinion, right? I own the domain name. I own the trademark.
My honest opinion. Okay, I get him. Now he trolling again. I see what he doing. So he just threw me off. He trolling. Yeah, he trolling because he just said my honest opinion. You know what I'm saying? That's not my expert opinion.
Yeah, he didn't take my expert opinion.
Yeah, that's different from what Wack did. That's more like what Drewski did with what's this shit called? Could Have Been Records.
Yeah.
He took the Cash Money shit, you know what I'm saying, and flipped it into his own shit.
Facts.
Everything, right? So I said, motherfuckers don't be having any business straight. So I look at it like, okay, you went online, said the things you said. I never said nothing. This all comes from a picture with us.
Yeah.
That's where all of this stems from. Beyond the fact that I left, right? This stems from the picture we took at Dumbo House, where I had a fucking extraordinary night. I got lit.
It was opulent. But I'm gonna tell you something crazy though. Let me What's up, Esso? I didn't even know that. Like Hynaken, see, I'm so away from what's going on that when it started going on, Hynaken was like, "Yo, this is your fault," because he always be playing around saying something. And I always like, so I'm in the crib. I'm like, "Yo, stop saying something's my fault." And he's like, "Well, this is your fault for real." So I'm like, "This is not my fault. What are you talking about?"
And that's one thing, though, I do know about Hynaken. You know what I'm saying? Hynaken, he was the guy who brought everything to the forefront. That's his own words. You know what I'm saying? That's what he pretty much said. He was saying that how he brought everything to the forefront of people getting paid, how much percentages they getting off the show, what they should be looking for. He said that he involved that inside of the Mav Hoffa, you know what I'm saying, my expert opinion. You feel me? Like, go ahead.
I don't feel like it's bad, though, what he's doing. I think that, you know, I feel like you can look at it two ways. You either just go your way and brand yourself into something and don't use, you know what I mean? Like I feel like if you're pulling from something that you say that you don't fuck with to bring something new into the game, it is a troll move, but you gotta ask yourself, are you ready for that troll world? Because you already know what type of world we live in, my nigga.
Right.
This shit, when you start trolling, you better be 10 toes down. You feel me? Because you open up the doors for some bullshit to come into your life, and the real business that you could offer yourself, you kind of take yourself away from that. You know what I'm saying? And open yourself up to a whole different world. That's really not good. That troll shit is not good, man. Trolling get you swollen, bro.
No, for sure.
That was
You
my
know,
first. Sorry,
go
go
ahead,
ahead, Chuck.
Angie. No, go ahead, Angie.
What he said was my first reaction because I saw this morning when it dropped like 6 a.m. because I was up and I told Chuck it was up. My first thought was exactly what you said, but as we keep watching, it's going to come together a little bit more. But I thought the same thing, like, nah, he's going in this trolling, like this is whack. Why would he do that? But it kind of makes sense more that he's not going to be going down that full trolling lane. With everything that he's saying, but we just got to keep watching. And he does go into the next like few minutes. He goes into the last day that everything went down.
Now let's get it.
He said, this Austin from the picture we took at Dumbo House. I said, how? And I said, oh, niggas thought we did a show with this nigga. Because we took a picture with him, but we was just at the party.
And it added Dumbo House in it and everything.
And here's the effed up part, because I put in the comments the aftermath, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because that was after the party was done, the whole vibe. And everyone's like, oh my God, you're disrespecting math. And I'm like, I was like, nah, bro, you had to be there. like if you wasn't at that vibe, you just will never understand what it was.
But the part that I hate is like everything that people's doing, they got to correlate it back to somebody else. They got to correlate it back to math. Nobody's thinking about what anybody else is doing
for the most part. Yeah.
Like at least I'm not. I'm not worried about what anybody else is doing. I never have been. You know what I'm saying? I only focus on myself and what we can do and what we should be doing. So when I see everybody focusing on, oh, this one did that, this one did this, I'm like, why is everybody caring? Because everybody got their own journey. Everybody got their own lane. Right? So how I go down my journey and lane is not going to be how everybody else goes down theirs. Right? So who cares about what they got going on?
They're going to care. You know why?
In the situation, why?
Just like how they care about Kendrick and Drake. This is the same shit that's on this podcast world.
That's a fact.
I know it sounds blasphemous to you.
But let me ask the question. Let me ask the hard question. What was the cause of y'all break? Fuck it. Like, what's the reason why you're not there anymore?
Well, the straw that broke the camel's back was the night of the I'll Be Out interview. After I done worked all day. And I was told after the interview, now let me just give you the timeline real quick, right? I got up, got the call around like 9, 10 a.m. Yo, I need you to pull up to the crib. I pull up to the crib. It was good. Yo, we got I'll Be Out tonight. You know, want to talk about like, you know, what questions we gonna ask, stuff like that, like prep shit. All right, cool. I'm in the crib. Nobody else, me, right? I'm in the crib, prepping or whatever, different questions, whatever. Then it turns into, yo, we got to start getting sponsors, right? I'm like, all right, cool. All right, what about such and such from this brand? I ain't gonna name it, but oh, word, bro.
Yeah, you right though. That's a fact though. Let's get to that. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to that part. Like where that is sort of a reach though for Hynaken to say like the podcast world and people feeling the same way they feel about the Kendrick and Drake situation. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been doing this podcasting for a long time. I think that's cap. You know what I'm saying? It's different sectors in this podcast world, and there's different levels to this shit. So I definitely think that's cap. That's blasphemy. Like the man said that nigga would think. It's just that, y'all.
Hold up. Let me ask you a side question.
Go ahead.
Kendrick or Drake?
Kendrick or Drake? I'm going to go with Kendrick overall, but then like Drake did have me for a second though. I admit that. Go to my timeline on my community wall. I say, yo, Drake got this one when he dropped that Family Matters. Then Kendrick dropped Family. He dropped Meet the Grams. I'm like, damn.
Hold up. I got somebody in this house that's against Drake. She's hates Drake. There's a lot of light-skinned crimes going on. I think people need to stop it. I think we need to judge rap on bars and not scandal or mix. You gotta have some scandal, you know what I mean, and shit like that. But I just want to throw that out there.
No, salute.
And also too, I don't think that would so far. I don't think that would Champ is. At first, what I thought was that he stole his name. So when he said, with the dude that said he caught Mav slipping, he really kept Mav slipping. He didn't put it. It's not my expert opinion. It's my honest opinion. That's the only thing. I just want to.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, he definitely said that. And at first, I didn't catch that. Then listening is key, especially to doing what we do when it comes to this podcasting, because you got to be able to listen to a person. And I heard it back on the second go around, and he definitely said something different than my expert opinion. You know what I'm saying, what he owns. But he said that he was trolling. And I know some things come to the internet where people will say that they're trolling, but I did have a conversation with Champ, bro. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. And Champ said that he wasn't on no troll shit. Champ said that he had a lot of integrity. Champ said that he wasn't even going to get involved in all the podcast politics, so-called, right? He was more so saying that, look, as long as Mav don't speak on this shit, I'm not going to speak on it. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people will say that Mav did speak on it when he went up there to that, what's that Chinese dude name?
Uppercut Podcast, Tiger.
China Mac, homeboy. You know what I'm saying? Salute to him. Good podcast. But he went up there and Mav had said some words, but I don't know if Mav didn't say what he already had said. Already was out there, because we even spoke about the whole car situation with the rental car, because that's how I found out about it, was because Champ told me about it. You feel me? So
Champ, listen. Champ was on my show too, and he told me the same thing. And my thing in life, you know what I mean? Forgiveness is divorce. Whether that's a podcast, whether that's a relationship or friendship, any of that. You know what I'm saying? When you forgive somebody, you divorce them. You know what I'm saying? When you want to hold on, you stay married to that process.
Yeah. Fact. You stay married to that process, and you gotta, like, especially with Islam, you know what I'm saying? You gotta know how to forgive and move on. You know what I'm saying? These some key points to living your life righteous. And Champ, I don't know, bro. Like, I get it, though, because he did say if he was to respond. He did give me that. He said, if I was to respond, I'm going to respond on my own channel so it can benefit me. But then, ever since then, bro, I seen him on, a publicity move. Shout out my boy, Ghost. Y'all know Ghost, who be coming up here and politicking with us. He was basically telling me that day, when we was like, no, Champ said he ain't gonna do that. He heard Champ. He was in there when Champ was talking and all that. And he was like, no, bro, I think Champ definitely gonna do that. Give it 2 weeks.
Is he going on media runs, or is they acting, or are they requesting? Because
it doesn't matter. You can say no. Just like when I had that conversation with him, I was trying to engage him in speaking about the Mav situation. He was like, no.
You can at least say no when he asking you questions about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? Like, always.
But look, we watching the first 10 minutes, and in the first 10 minutes, the breakdown is, so how did you leave the Mav Hoffa show?
Right. Let me just jump in real quick. Pay attention right now, because he's about to go into this. Now, remember, Chuck and Mac, peep how he says, I've been with him since 10:30 in the morning, and peep how he said, when Mav Hoffa said to Champs, yo, we need sponsors. Remember that, because a lot of y'all know that no matter how many subscribers that you have, no matter how much views you get on YouTube, YouTube is gonna nickel and dime you. The real bag comes from sponsors. So just remember that conversation that he said in the morning. He was with Hoffa. Hoffa's like, yo, we need sponsors. So he was like, you right. Why don't you call so-and-so? And he said Hoffa didn't want to call for the sponsorship, or he did call or something like that. Let's pay attention. Just remember that part as he goes into chronologically what happened that day. But right there, when he's like, yo, we need sponsors, it shows you something. But anyway, let's keep it pushing.
But like, look, just to move forward with what you just said, and that he did say that. He was even saying it and alluding to it, right? But we talking about Math Hoffa. Before Champ came to Math Hoffa was probably at, when Esso and them left, they was at probably like 400,000. When Champ came along, they was probably at like 500,000-600,000. Then when he left, they was probably about 900 to 1 million subscribers, right? So my thing is like, when it comes to Champ, he's saying like his influence coming to that network, you know what I'm saying, gave it an extra push. But I don't believe that, because Math Hoffa was on BET. Math Hoffa doing business with this person, that person. That's how I even link with him from they whole network. You did? So I just don't believe that, like, what Champ is saying is like, if he came in there and, yo, I'm telling the people, I'm telling Math that he need more sponsors for more money. We always need more sponsors for more money.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
He's saying that Math, if you rewind it, he said, I was with Math that morning and he said, yo, we need more sponsors. But it's all gonna make sense as you continue to listen to the story. Because I know people with 5 to 6 million subscribers on YouTube, and they've been put me on to the money is really in the sponsors. It's in the DraftKings, it's in the freaking Seat Geeks, it's in those big sponsors.
Right.
That's where the bread is really
listen, you right though, but all them like Seat Geek, like on DraftKings, you literally can just go on a website and go for the affiliate program, type it up, get the link and put it in, start advertising it. But
see, a lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't have agents. They don't know business, but it's going to all make sense. But just that conversation made me kind of perk my ears up when I was watching the interview. And he said, "Oh, I was with him that morning."
No, I got
like,
you.
Yo, we need sponsors. Just that shows me right there that money
look,
is a little funny.
Hey Angie, do I think that Math Hoffa is a millionaire off of YouTube podcasting? Yes. Do you?
Do I think that you
Math Hoffa is a millionaire off of podcasting on YouTube?
I don't know about YouTube alone. Maybe. I think that I want to put
podcasting. Let's put podcasting there. His whole, like, whether he's sending to TikTok, Facebook, whatever.
Yes.
You think he's a millionaire off of that?
Do I think that what he's making, do I think that, and again, this is just my speculation and my opinion, but do I think that the platform, YouTube alone, and the views, and as many people as he has to pay, and what the income is coming in on that alone, I think that alone, without the aid of sponsors and Patreon, everybody can't eat comfortably off of just that alone, because YouTube is nickel and diming people no matter how many millions of views they have. A lot of people have to have a secondary stream, whether it's a Patreon, big sponsors, like things like that. So just YouTube alone and the subscriber count, no, absolutely not.
I agree 100%. I think that maybe 2-3 years ago, maybe, like, if we, you know what I'm saying, if he was at this height 2-3 years ago, yes, but like, yeah, they are nickel and diming us. Our CPMs, our RPMs went down crazy. So yeah, without the sponsorship, it's hard to say that a motherfucker will really be there, right? But I want to piggyback off something that you said earlier, Chuck, and this is my opinion. I also want to play devil advocate with this. What I'm about to tell you. Let's get it. When you said about when you was responding about what Champ said as far as his value to the show, right? I would say what you said when, you know, Math might have been at 400 when he came on the show, and they might have went up another 100,000, 200,000 while he was on the show, right? I feel like Math would have got that no matter what. That, I mean, if you want to, you can't.
That's what I think. Me too.
That can't be a metric. That can't be a metric for your value. But do I think that Champ added value to the show? Yes, I do believe that.
Yeah. I think, and I'm glad the way you put it like that, because I agree with what you just said.
Let me land this right here, Chuck, because the reason being is because when I spoke to Champ, some of the things that he told me that he did for the show specifically, because I had to ask him that, Because in my own mind, I got to get the numbers can always be fucked with. You know what I'm saying, on YouTube. So we don't know how to measure a person's worth. I can't come to your channel, Chuck. You taught me a lot of shit when I first came to the game 4 years ago. You sat me down and explained everything to me. You know what I'm saying? And over the years, I've stolen certain things that I've seen from you in a creative way where it didn't look like I was stealing, but I was going to school studying. You know what I'm saying? So
ain't nothing wrong with that.
But rightfully, you know what I mean, to condense my who I am, you can say that you did add crazy value to my show and to
but this the thing though, like you just said, I'm glad you even put it that way, right? Because you're right. So I did probably add some value, like, hey, look, don't go across that bridge, go this way. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, we need more sponsors. Do it this way. That's cool. But Mac Mean still had to do what he had to do, bro. It's all on you.
Chuck, take your flowers. You got to understand that you've always like underplayed yourself for who you really are. I'm gonna tell you who you really are, though, bro. Your value, the way you just value. You said, "Well, I can't take credit." Yes, you can. I'm telling you personally that I've pulled from that pool of Death of the Cloud Chaser. I've learned Clubhouse following your footprints. So I can be honest and tell you that. You know what I'm saying? But for you to realize your value, there's nothing wrong with that too, though. So I know you humble, but if you was on a podcast and you say, yeah, I taught Mac Mean a lot of shit, you know what I'm saying? I added value to the show. That would be a 100%.
But I wouldn't go on to like, I put Math Hoffa on YouTube. It's like a nigga said, for sure. But it's like a nigga saying, though, I put Math Hoffa on YouTube. Like, I didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing. Like, when you talking about, like, this is how the optics behind it, right? I get it. It's just a regular statement to us, people that's aware. But a lot of people that's going to hear this statement, they going to think like, yo, when Champ came in, that's when Math started getting the money because he put them on the sponsors. You feel me? But that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? Every content creator, every news network, every movie, series, web series, whatever you want to call it, music artists, they want, you know what I'm saying, more people to sponsor them and more, you know what I'm saying, bags, more money.
And let me just say this real quick, because like I said, I have a friend that has 5 million subscribers and she's always keeping it real. Like, YouTube is not paying. So when she launched her podcast, because she didn't have bigger sponsors, she went and she created a Patreon, which they put, extended podcast episodes, bonus episodes and stuff. And she has about 30,000 patrons. And she's like, we don't have sponsorships, but thank you to my patrons because y'all are paying the bills. Y'all are paying enough to the point on YouTube alone. Her husband's a camera guy. She has this other guy that's a producer, another guy making the thumbnail, and it's elevating, but she was able to pay them through Patreon. But now that she's gotten bigger sponsors, the bag is coming in, so everybody's more comfortable. So if you just dependent on YouTube to pay your bills, she already kept it real. And she's somebody with 5 mil, and she's like, this is not enough. We needed a secondary stream in order. My patrons is the ones that is really, we don't have sponsors, so thank you to my patrons. You know what I'm saying? But no, for sure.
But it's like, but listen, that comes with certain people, though. You know what I'm saying? But when you packing them views and you packing people of value that's coming to your channel,
the episode on her podcast.
Yeah, that's true. But look, your million views still might not count towards my million views or the next person, because it's a thing called CPM. You know what I'm saying? That's when they evaluate your user, your audience. So like, for example, if I got a bunch of people who order shit online, got subscriptions to these clothing companies, they little subscription boxes, the watches, the cologne, shit like that, they gonna be able to advertise certain people that's gonna click on that shit, right? So that your shit gonna be up higher.
Right. It's almost as when you are a content creator, you have to be able to have your hand in so many different bags in order to continue, but you don't want to keep nickel and diming yourself. The goal is,
what I'm saying is, Angie, is like,
if the goal is for your podcast, and I'm talking about all the biggest podcasts, the Logan Paul, the Tana Mojo, the Trisha Paytas, the fucking H3H3s, the ones that have like the biggest sponsors. Your goal is to be able to go and have the sponsors that are paying the biggest bags on your podcast, so you can have a huge bag and pay everybody, so you don't have to nickel and dime yourself. Let me get a little 2,000 here from this advertisement, or let me grab this, or let me grab this, or let me grab this. That's why people are trying to get the biggest sponsors, so the money can come in, because they have the biggest bag.
How do they attract those sponsors? Like, how do you wait for them?
A lot of times, some people, they you get signed to like people get agents, people have managers, PR people, or people have actually the sponsors will reach out depending on the traction that your movement is getting. So I remember my friend was just like we starting this Patreon and we're gonna give them all this on the side because nobody wants to sponsor me. I'm problematic. I'm this, I'm that. But cleaning up content, kept working hard. She was, she got signed to an agency. She was able to get certain sponsors. So it's almost like it's little by little. But if your business is not right, I mean, I don't want to go off on a tangent, but right there in Champ's interview, when he said he had the conversation that morning with Hoffa, and he's like, yo, we need sponsors. And he was like, yo, why don't you call so-and-so? That's the part that we was up to. And that's when Matt Hoffa called the sponsor. And then it's going to continue from there. But I just wanted to drive the point home. When somebody comes to me that I'm working on a podcast with and it's like, yo, we need sponsors, that's going to be a red flag. Like, the money is not the money must be funny. It must be not what everybody thinks it is. If you talking about, yo, I need sponsors, well, that's where my mind goes.
So let me ask you something, because I did speak about this shit on my show, but what the fuck, what was the problem with the first two, the ones that left? Hynaken, was it money problems too with them?
Supposedly, all three. I wasn't there for the interview with Hynaken and Esso. I was there to interview the camera guy, the SP guy, and it was definitely money issues. He wasn't being paid properly, allegedly, from what he said. He wasn't being compensated properly for what he was doing with the filming of the podcast. It wasn't right with the money. The other two who left, I was not there for those interviews. You got to ask Chuck.
Bigger. It was bigger, and
Yeah, I wasn't there for the Esso and the Hynaken interview, but I did help interview the camera person, and he did say it was financial. He left because of finance.
I think I think if Chuck was gonna finish playing, I think and I don't think that they fucked up so much where they can't it's a street beef or anything, but I think that I hope Matt Hoffa is becoming more smart, you know what I'm saying, as far as business, because this is really what it is. You got people that you fuck with and you like, and you try to bring them in, and there's no clear structure of what needs to be done. Because
Esso says that in the interview. As I don't know, Chuck, if you want to play it so we could keep watching it, but that was the exact Esso's words. He said, This situation is lacking structure. But anyway, we could keep watching.
And then you think when we're at this ground, what they call that grassroots level, when you're trying to build something up, the problem is that we don't see how big we could become, or we are at that point. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's just something that happens. The real ones, in a situation with the record labels, a lot of guys that was signed to record labels end up falling off, and there was some dudes that just stayed down because they knew that there was going to be a time when we got up. But then there was some people that felt like, I'm bigger than the program. You're making this amount of money. And the reality is that if you think about it, the biggest Math Hoffa videos, statistic-wise, were 2 years ago. The biggest Mac Mean or any one of us videos that we have in our catalog on YouTube was 2 years ago. In the last 2 years, what Chuck was talking about, the CPM, that's cost per mile. You feel me? And that's not necessarily what you're going to get paid. You get paid for your RPM. Your cost per mile might be fucking, when I first started, it was $15. Now you'd be lucky if you get $2 or $3. You know what I'm saying? And then
but that's like the content that you do, because you got to add certain gems in there. Even when I'm going to put you up on something, right, bro? And you can do this, right? Real talk. It's like a back door. You can actually so while you doing your regular live,
my CPM
all of a sudden, just all of a sudden stop and just advertise something in regards to business. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, hey, everybody, y'all, you can go get the link too and put it in your description. Everybody, you know what I'm saying, you looking to fix your credit, which I got to start doing too myself. But you looking to fix your credit, you know, click the link in the bio, in the description. It's kickoff or get your credit right, gang. You know what I'm saying? Now, look, guess what? Now, I just said that on this video, the CPM going to be up. The RPM is going to be up. Trust me.
Dope. That's interesting. I'm gonna implement that. I'm gonna implement it. And I'm see what it do.
Because financial literacy is like the highest CPM. Of course, like a lot of this shit that we do and we talk about, sometimes it could be considered like, you know, a bunch of people, the users might be young, the users might be old, they might not be so active on the internet, but they come in to see that particular piece of content. But when you got, you know what I'm saying, there's levels to it. So when you got people that, like, say, for example, watch Hassan Campbell, you know why Hassan Campbell chat get lit with donations? Because the people that's watching him are people that are employed. You know what I'm saying? They used to navigating their credit card on the internet. You know what I'm saying? So it's nothing for them to hit, oh yeah, donate. You feel me? Yeah. Versus say somebody that's watching your shit that's like, man, I don't even trust the internet like that. I'm a cash person. I got a bank account, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's a different type of market. So basically what it is unfortunately, some people going to gravitate different audience. You know what I'm saying? That's where the money go in at. Because just because off 1 million views, like I ain't made $10,000 off 1 million views. You know what I'm saying? Some people ain't made, the artists, I think what they made, 3,500, 4,500 or something, bro. With the artists, like just they flat out CPM.
Yeah, they're not getting shit.
So they don't got no room to grow because it's some people, like I said, 10,000 off 1 million views. Some people ain't made 20,000, 30,000. It depends on the genre and what they doing. And then there's some people, 1 million views, $200.
Right. And sometimes the money gets, like, if you're at a certain level of success with your program of whatever programming you do on your YouTube channel, if the sponsors are big enough, you're not even depending on the donations from your chat and your super chats and all that. You even, you know, your money is so good. You basically telling your audience, don't even, like, you're not even asking for the cash apps, the donations, nothing.
Yeah, I don't do none of that. And they send me cash apps.
You don't even have to depend on that. But there are, like, when the sponsors' bags are big enough, trust me, that's making like an indentation with their, you know, you of course appreciate. No,
I agree. I agree. I'm saying, like,
income.
All I'm saying is that, like, I agree with you 100%. But it's content creators that's eating heavy off of YouTube, $1 million a month. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't need no sponsors. They don't need nothing. They just need to hit and go live.
From the biggest YouTubers, most of them are saying that YouTube is not paying. That it's in the sponsorship.
It is. You know what? It has something to do with your titling and your genre. Like he said, financial literacy, that's the number one thing. Anything that's tutorial based, I don't give a fuck if you're teaching people how to tie laces or make food. You know what I'm saying? That's like the second thing, you know, and then anything finance related or teaching you something tutorial, like, you know what I mean?
Them the top because they can advertise, like, say you fixing your car. Now AutoZone can advertise on your shit. Say you talking about, you know what I'm saying, a cleaning business. Walmart gonna advertise. It's certain levels to when they come to that. Like, but if you in the gutter, shit, you gonna get results.
And even the beauty community, the biggest money maker, it was the beauty community. Even the ones who have 10 million followers, they're like, the way to make money is to create a business or a product off of that. Even the ones that blew up on doing makeup, a lot of them, they got their products. They got their products in Ulta and Sephora now. Even the mukbang community, B Loves Life, who eats the crab legs, she got a sauce right now that she's selling in Walmart and Amazon.
Yeah,
everybody's
it's always good
YouTube
for that though.
Not
for
paying
sure.
The bills. You either got to have a product you're selling, you got to have a Patreon on the side, you got to have sponsorships. If you are just thinking YouTube is going to pay everything, it's not going to happen.
Yo, I'm telling you though, Angie, the shit is paying a certain, because like even with like just for like, let me just evaluate the beauty industry for a second, just a second. You know what I'm saying? And like the beauty industry is great. You feel me? But a lot of their products don't cost that much. So even if I was getting a percentage off of every sale that I sent to your particular company, it's not that much money. The products don't cost that much.
Right.
You feel
The
me?
products don't listen. I do beauty, so I know the products don't cost that much to make, but the big beauty influencers actually now have their own brands that are in Sephora and Ulta, to where a piece of foundation is $20 to $50 a pop. And they're getting a percentage of that. Like, these people's names are on these products. I'm not talking about getting marketing money. I'm talking about becoming an entity.
Becoming a boss.
And now being the brand, the face. Look at Jaclyn Hill. She got Jaclyn Cosmetics. Look at freaking Patrick Starr. He got
No, that's the key. Like, I got merch. I got a Shopify. You know what I'm saying? We sell our own product. You know what I mean? Like, go ahead, DOTCC. Yo.
Hey, yo, Chuck.
.shop.
What's the word? What's poppin'?
What you got? What's your thoughts on this whole situation that we talking about? Then we'll get into the Math Hoffa, Esso, you know what I'm saying, Hynaken champ interview.
Oh, hold on, Chuck. Before we do that, right? I just want to say salute to me, Mr. 100K, Bullets Gotti.
Oh yeah, Bullets Gotti, 100K. Salute.
Congratulations.
Yeah, you didn't come and congratulate me when I hit that 100K. And what you say? We started at the same time, right?
Yeah.
And you seen the obstacles
to you guys.
and the bullshit.
Thank you. Now, as far as Math Hoffa goes, you know, stop being stingy with the money, man. Help your people, bro. Come on, Chuck. He got to do what Queen's Flip doing right now. Bring all his people back, bro. That's all. And you get your shit popping again, man. Can't be stingy with your niggas, man. You know.
So do what Queen Flip did, just bring everybody back.
Bring everybody back, man. You see what Flip doing, man. He know his shit was dying.
Yeah, I rock with a few people up there and shit. You know, that's how I know Space Ghost was from Queen's Flip.
Yeah, Space Ghost and all them, yeah. But, you know, you gotta bring your people back. You know. Champ, Esso, Hynaken, and Bigger, they out here doing their thing, man. You can't hate on them. Bag Fuel, you got Bigger podcast. Nobody ain't shout out Bigger podcast. I like Bigger podcast. Entertaining. I
like all their podcasts. Them just be all right. But I think that Math Hoffa need a better business model so he don't keep running into the same problems.
I agree. And
yeah, like you said it before, Angie. You said it before, like maybe moving forward, and my boy Rez, you know what I'm saying? Rez, he salute to Rez, but
yeah, shout out Rez.
Y'all both was kind of saying it like how maybe he needed to just change the whole layout of the shop. You feel me?
Yeah.
Less chairs. You know what I mean? Less chairs, less people involved. So then you don't got to think. Even the person that's sitting at the end that throw a question in there like, yeah, that was a viral moment. No, bro, you got to keep doing that. This is a business. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you're doing, we can pay you for that. You feel me? But like when I interviewed Math, the last time I interviewed Math, he said sometimes he get tired of Champ talking about prison stories and shit like that.
Champ talks about that in the interview too.
He said that he get tired of it. He like, yo, sometimes I get tired of Champ relating to the prison shit. Woo. You know, but you know that's what he do. Do I want to talk about that outside of the show? No. You know what I'm saying?
Hold up, Chuck. But one thing I want to do, I want to give Champ some credit. They said that Champ has got the biggest prison newsletter in the country. So it does.
No, that's a fact. That's how I met him. I was supposed to do an interview with him before he went on Math Hoffa. My people Rez put me in tune with him. He had, like you said, one of the biggest magazines in the prison, the P-Now system. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, he definitely, you know what I'm saying, he one of them guys, you feel me? But here's the thing, bro. Again, bro, I tell people all the time, there's levels to it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, like me personally, I'm not none of these Adam 22s, live TVs, or anything like that. It's levels to it. You know what I'm saying? I'm Big Chuck. I'm definitely the cloud chaser. You feel me? So at the end of the day, I'm not going to, oh yeah, because they spoke about something I said, like, yo, I made them niggas. Like, I helped out. I helped out they shit. Like, that's cool. Shit, we helped out each other, if anything. You know what I'm saying? Like you were saying earlier, Mac, we helped out each other. You put me up on game, I put you up on game. Even playing field. We move on. You know what I'm saying?
All right, can you finish playing it?
Let's finish watching so he could go into
Let's
the story about his last day.
Something like
being
that.
there.
I said, nah, nigga, call that nigga, man. Call that nigga. Whatever that was, that shit is done with. Call that nigga. Let's get some money. So reluctantly, he called him. He called him. They had a great conversation.
He's talking about the
Meeting was
sponsor.
set up for another day. I'm like, see, boom, there you go. So all it takes is a phone call. Bang. So time progresses. I'm still at the crib. Now it's time to start for me to go open the shop like I usually do. I had a key. I would open the shop, close it, clean it, all of that stuff. I grabbed the equipment. Huh?
He had to take a shot.
What he said? Nah,
He said, who's he?
No, no. Who's key?
Oh,
no, it's Space Ghost.
Yeah, you know, he changed the locks and all of that shit.
No, he didn't have to because I gave the key back.
Oh, you didn't steal the key, Ghost?
I didn't steal anything.
Oh, okay. Because you know this shit's funny, Champ.
So Champ got Ghost's original key.
Yeah, I probably still got it on my keychain
to the barber
somewhere.
shop.
Oh my God! But all right, Champ.
So now
you open up.
I get the equipment. I leave. I go to the shop, open it up, clean up, and all of that. But when I get, actually, I'm lying. Excuse me. KK had opened up the shop. The shop was open already, and Albie was there.
All right.
He was already there. So I get there. I bring the equipment. They start setting up or whatever. Albie like, yo, what up? Where boy at? And I'm like, yo, he on his way. So then I say about a half an hour passes. He calls me. He like, yo, bro, I need you to come get me. And I'm like, what happened? You know what I'm saying? He like, yo, I need you to come get me because the car's not starting. You know, whatever the car, he got his girl's name.
How can we call you? He can't take
Exactly,
an
and it's only 2 minutes away, 5 minutes away from the barbershop. I'm like, all right, that's, you know, because that's what I usually do. I usually bring him to the shop. So I'm like, all right, fuck it. Get in the car, go pick him up. Then we come back. We come back, I run to the store, get the liquor, do all the little shit I do. We start the episode. The episode went well. After the episode was done, I'm cleaning up. Everybody done left, like the guests and they peoples left. And he like, yo, Champ, let me holler at you real quick. I'm like, what's up? He like, yo, I ain't gonna pay you for this interview. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm like, what do you mean you're not gonna pay me for this interview? What do you mean? Why not? He said, because you gotta bring sponsors, bro. That's the lay of the land. And I said, when the fuck did you think of that? Like, when did that happen? You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's just after a day's work. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, yeah, every other episode I got paid and stuff like that, but not for everything I was getting paid for. And we had a conversation about that prior to. So I'm like, yo, you sure that's what you want to do? And he was like, yo, that's going to be the lay of the land now. I said, I say no more. I didn't go back and forth with him no more. I didn't argue with him and all of that. I was like, I say no more. I finished cleaning the shop, walked out, pulled the gate down, locked it up, sat in my car for like 2 hours and just thought about it. Called one of my peoples, told him how I was feeling. And he was like, yo, you got to do the balance, the scale. Like, what is it doing for you versus what it's not doing for you? What's the pros and the cons? And it was more cons than pros overall. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I decided, I'm like, yo, I'm not coming back to this shit. I ain't going back.
Were you on paperwork for him?
No paperwork. There was ain't nobody on paperwork in that shop. Nobody. No videographers, no co-hosts, ain't nobody on there. And then after I left, he gave paperwork to niggas and nobody signed it.
Nope. Oh.
It's still in the wind.
Who's there left to get paperwork to? Gat Murder? I mean, Mecca had paperwork with us. When we was there, Mecca had paperwork.
Oh, hi! With the Disney Bundle, there's some...
Skip that shit, Chuck.
Yo, what's good, bro?
Nah. He said bring
shit, bro.
He said bring sponsors. That's odd. No, I wanted you to finish playing it. I wanted to finish hearing that shit.
Get it, let's get it.
Bring sponsors sound like
something happened. I mean, listen, it don't matter with the paperwork because he's gonna break all the rules on the paper. So
he's gonna do what he want to do. That's a fact.
But Champ, it's a fact. Champ, because when you sat down with Flip, right? One of the questions he asked, right?
Flip is crazy, man.
Well, you know, he said if that was a situation, that's why I asked you if there was paperwork, right? And and he decides to rearrange the circumstances of how you get paid, and now it's a one-time thing. Wouldn't it just to be like, I'm going to prove myself, and I'm going to bring the sponsorships that could have been negotiated?
Man, I've been proved myself, man. Only, bro, like I said
how did you
before,
prove yourself then,
you know
champ?
how much shit I was doing?
No,
like,
we don't know.
As far as
nobody know what we did. They just think we sat in the chair.
I learned what the fuck I did.
I learned half this stuff.
For yourself.
All right,
what? Nigga got 500,000 extra followers when I was in that motherfucker. They know what the fuck I did.
That is true. That is true.
Don't even try it, nigga.
I learned that after the night of the
niggas know what the fuck.
Oh, wow. See, that's what it's about, bro.
I don't like that.
That's what it's about, bro.
I don't like that.
You see, look at him, bro. That's what it's about, man. It's about that part.
I wouldn't even understand. I wouldn't even know. I mean, you just automatically think that the longer if we were a successful show, the longer I'm here, it's simple arithmetic. The show is going to grow. You know what I mean? If you would have stayed there another 5 years, you probably would have been able to say, I watched it grow from, like to a million subscribers. But you can't measure your worth to the show based off of the numbers going up. If that was the case,
numbers going up.
Yeah, if there's 12 people involved with the show, divide that number that you think in your mind times 12. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody.
Yeah, he the guy who did so much. He the Mr. guy that did so much. Let's
decides to rearrange the circumstances of how you get paid, and now it's a one-time thing. Wouldn't it just to be like, I'm going to prove myself, and I'm going to bring the sponsorships that could have been negotiated?
Man, I've been proved myself, man. Only, bro, like I said
how did you prove yourself then,
you know
champ?
how much shit I was doing?
No,
like,
we don't know.
As far as
nobody know what we did. They just think we sat in the chair.
I learned what the fuck I did.
I learned half this stuff.
For yourself.
All right, what?
Nigga got 500,000 extra followers when I was in that motherfucker. They know what the fuck I did.
That is true. That is true.
Don't even try it, nigga.
I learned that after the night of the
niggas know what the fuck I did. But you can go ahead.
Oh yeah, you was there for that. We could talk about that.
So just to be clear, I didn't do no shit like that.
Yeah, no.
I didn't sit in that chair and then all of a sudden the followers went up. But I was very instrumental with guests, which is a key thing, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna get paid off of your views on YouTube or whatever else in audio if you don't have good guests, right? That's one of the things.
I want to talk about that because when you and Flip were talking, he kept acting like it was an easy thing to do. And I didn't like because like Esso gets a lot of guests. He did it from my expert opinion. He's doing it for back.
I didn't really do it for my expert opinion.
Listen to what I'm trying to explain.
Wait, what do you mean?
Okay, hold on.
I only had a couple of guests. I wouldn't bring guests there, but go ahead, Hynaken.
Yeah, but it's just because a show is rocking, right? That don't mean it's gonna be easy to bring people on.
Right.
So when you and Flip were going back, that's the one thing I was like, it ain't that easy. So the names you was bringing through, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that. I gotta agree with that point, though. I agree wholeheartedly with that point because it's true, though. You gotta have these different relationships with these guests to be able to even bring them on. You know what I'm saying? Because they can go on anybody's platform. Sometimes you see them go on the smallest platform to the biggest.
Because I have a guest-based podcast, and guess what? I do all the booking of my guests based on the relationships that I have. So if somebody is contributing their relationships and their resources to the table, and that's helping the benefit of the show, and they're cleaning up the shop, they're opening, closing it, getting drinks, they may not be bringing sponsorships, but they are putting work into the pot. And at the end of the day, I already knew the business is all fucked up.
Yo, he said cleaning up the shop. That sounded like that was a shot to Bigger. Bigger was cleaning up the barbershop too. That's probably where Champ got it from.
You didn't hear what he said? He said he was opening it, closing it, cleaning up, went to the liquor store, displayed the drinks, brought his relationships, brought his resources. That's work towards the production of the show. Now you're asking the man to bring sponsors. If you, at the end of the day, I already knew the business was all messed up just listening to this. And you can ask Chuck. I said this from the very beginning. There's too many miscellaneous people into this show. There's too many extra people. The more people that are involved with the show, the more people you have to pay. The way this business is, and the fact that there's not a manager, an agent, somebody seeking the sponsors, the person is like, if I'm headlining Angie's World podcast, and you guys are a part of my podcast, I'm not going to put that responsibility on you to not only book the guests. Now y'all got to find sponsors. They're too far in the game right now to be nickel and diamond like this and having this business all chaotic like this. They need to just reel this in and make it a small entity and then grow in a certain way. It's just too many people. No one's getting paid right. The sponsors are not there. Everything is blocked behind a Patreon wall right now. Like, I gotta keep it a buck. This is a mess. This business, anybody that can see business, and I don't have a degree in business, but this is mess. This is all over the place.
It's messy as fuck. And the popularity of these shows on YouTube is not as popular as before. So that fact, you gotta factor in what you were saying earlier about whether that, you know, there's money being generated from the actual podcast, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, what type of side money is being made outside of sponsorship? You know what I'm saying? Because sponsorship is also based on numbers too. You know
and
what I'm
Spotify
saying?
and Apple is not paying like that either.
Yeah.
Yo, Travis, what's the word? Who is Travis? Yo, Travis.
Niggers.
You on mute?
Okay, bro.
Okay.
He got a good mic too. Yo, I would have. You know what though, man? I would have took that so far. I wish I was white sometimes, and so I could just show them how to troll black people for real. You know what I'm saying? You don't troll. You don't get a good troll off by saying niggas, man. Just make us just block you in the back. I hope you block that motherfucker from the studio.
Yeah.
Anyway, I
can't come to the studio no more. Get another account.
I gotta get ready to step down. Good meeting you, Angie.
Nice meeting you too.
Salute Bullets Gotti on that.
Hey, but what's the conclusion though? The conclusion, like, give them a conclusion of it, bro. Like, your thoughts on it. Like, when it comes to this situation, you talk to
I talked to both. I spoke to Champ. And then Mav Hoffa came to the show, but instead of addressing the issue, he wanted to troll Sub-Zero. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I know Mav fuck with us because he watched the shows and shit like that. But I will give Mav the same advice that I'm gonna give the Champ. Don't start trolling. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't play that game because that shit's a whole lifestyle, and then it fucks up money. You know what I'm saying? What I would do is what Angie said. I would try to rebrand. I would incorporate what somebody said in a chat. Bring your original crew back, and let's take it a step further. Let's stop interviewing people. We now the stars. Let's interview each other. Let's get into our world. You know what I'm saying? Let's create our own network because interviewing people is cool, but that shit's old. And our numbers on YouTube, like everybody's saying, unless you're doing what I Show Speed and Mr. Beast, and even if you listen to Mr. Beast, the most popular, he is so deep with them, how much money they put into marketing and what they get as a return doesn't come back. That even with the product, Mr.
He got cookies in fucking Walmart.
Even with that goes all back into production. So that they're constantly trying to build the next level of product. You know what I'm saying? So they can see an ROI. For people that don't understand, that's a return on investment. Your promotion, money into promotion is an investment too. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you are Mr. Beast. And the reason why I'm using Mr. Beast is because, like she was saying, with a friend that has 5-6 million subscribers, the money is just not matching our lifestyles, especially with the economy. You know what I mean? The reality of going to the supermarket. You know what I'm saying? Let's just talk like humans. When you go get the gas, you're getting less. Your taste buds are changing because you can't afford the same shit you was affording just 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So with that, if let's just say you was making the same exact amount of money that you was making last year, it's not enough this year. You need something else to sustain you. And sponsorship is one way into it. Product placement.
Hey, like, I know you got a kind of an eye on like what happened to Hot Son, because I meant to ask Wack 100 yesterday. I had him in the room and shit. I was asking him a series of questions, and my phone went dead and he had left out. But I wanted to ask him about that Hot Son Campbell situation where he's saying he ain't getting them $30,000, $50,000 checks a month no more. You know what I'm saying? He probably won't even be able to send his kids to college. Like, what's your thoughts on that?
It's a fact. One thing, his situation specific, is that when he went, when Wack threatened him, Wack is not the reason why Hassan Campbell channel took a hit. You know what I'm saying? His channel took a hit for what 93% of YouTubers today took a hit for. Reused content, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Harassment and bullying rules drastically changed overnight and shit like that. But more than anything, when he went into his catalog and just deleted everything, as opposed to, hiring somebody or putting somebody in charge that will go through his videos and fix them up to where they're YouTube approved. You know what I'm saying? When the YouTube good, I would have kept everything on private and worked in the back. While you working on your monetization to come back on, have people fix the videos up. That way you don't lose your algorithmic standing. So when he took all those videos off, he fucked up his algorithmic standing. So his steam went away. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that saves him is his Patreon. But you gotta think, you could go to his Patreon, you can see that even the numbers on his Patreon is probably like 500 or some shit like that. $5, you know what I'm saying? $5 times 500. What's that? $2,500 a month? Some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's what he was saying. What he's saying, I don't think is cap. He's definitely taking an L. But I think that you need to look back 2 years, 3 years back when he was saying that they targeting our specific community. You know what I'm saying? And they devalue everything in this community by putting these new community guidelines in place. You know what I'm saying? So, before it was profanity, it was something like that. Then it was targeting. Then, all of that shit is specific to us. It doesn't affect different communities. You know what I'm saying? So I think there was a lot of jewels in what he was saying then, but because he was such a big troll and, he wasn't really helping people, he was just kind of like sitting on a soapbox saying, yo, fuck all y'all. This is what's going on. Look at this gold I got. You know what I'm saying? I feel like God is paying him back by him taking the L that he's taking. But even him, he has a chance. If I was his publicist, I would tell him to completely abandon your message on YouTube. And if you want to destroy the character, I would say that it would be the same thing that I'm saying with like Champ, like moving forward away from math. Completely rebuild yourself. Hassan Campbell should be speaking for victims. That's what he need to be doing. He would have been in politics by now if he would have went with the way that God was laying it out for him. He wasn't to come to YouTube and ridicule people, disrespect the dead, violate people, act like a victim, you know what I'm saying? And then say fuck the people that spoke up for you initially, which was the victims. So when you say that, the people that the fan base that he has that engages in, contributing to his rhetoric and shit like that is a specific demographic. But if you also look now, that demographic has changed. You know what I'm saying? Even those people that used to be able to throw that money around the way they did years ago, they're not doing it no more. You know what I'm saying? And that fan base has changed. So you need to, but I would say that he needs to speak for the victims in conclusion. You know what I'm saying? Like, and change his heart. You know what I mean? Like, as a human, that's how I like to speak to people. In order for you to connect with business, you know what I'm saying? You have to be built a certain way. You know what I mean? And if you have things that's in your way that you can't even see your own, like the problems that you for yourself, nobody else is going to be able to do it for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think that he needs to speak for those people. He needs to go back to his original story and attract those people, those victims and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, Angie, what's your thoughts on it like right now? I know you got some comments in here that say that you don't think the cast members should be responsible to bring sponsors in.
Yeah. I don't think that, my personal opinion is, I don't think that the cast members, well, you already know, first of all, I just think there's way too many people involved in the first place, right? But I think that Math Hoffa, it's called Math Hoffa is my expert opinion. I believe that it should be either a manager or agent or Math Hoffa himself out there seeking the sponsorships, being that he's spearheading and headlining this project, and everybody that else that's involved, whether it's the cast members, the cameraman, who's cleaning up the shop, they're all employed under the boss. So I think whoever is dealing with the business needs to, they need to figure out how to bring the sponsorships in, the money in, and then delegate the payment to whoever's involved. And I also think they need to condense the amount of people that's involved so everybody can be paid adequately for the money that they are, for the work that they're putting in. It shouldn't be on the responsibility of the workers, AKA the cast members, to bring sponsorships into your podcast, especially not at this level. You understand what I'm saying? Of where everything is. You shouldn't put that on someone, and you shouldn't really, and don't get me wrong, like this is my opinion, and it's nothing against Math Hoffa, because I was there for his interviews and I understood like his side of certain things. But listening to this, I think it was unfair to now say, okay, you're not getting paid for tonight's day of work after you've already been craft services by wasting gas money, going to the store, picking up the alcohol, regardless if you paid it or not, displaying it, cleaning up the shop, helping people set up, picking me up, running me around. And now you don't get paid for today's work because you can't bring sponsorships in because we don't have sponsors. That is very unprofessional as the boss to have that conversation with somebody who is helping you. So yeah, it should not be the responsibility of the cast members to bring these sponsorships in.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that like 100%. And I think like, you know, when you coming on to a network or you coming on to a situation that was similar to the Math Hoffa and Champ situation, you know, you're going to have them variables involved where some relationships might come with that person, right? So a lot of times that's why they pick certain people to be a part of whatever network or said podcast, is because of their relationships. Maybe they can help influence the culture or help influence this particular podcast. So I don't think there's nothing wrong with that, having that in your head. Like, yo, when I put Champ on, Champ got his he got his whole situation when it comes to the prison magazine, and he built relationships. I will put Champ on my podcast too. You feel me? Now, this is the cold part though, but this is just the game. You know what I'm saying? No matter what part of business you in, you gotta have some type of rules and some things in place.
Yeah,
you know, and a lot of people call them contracts.
And you can't start surrounding yourself with people and expecting free labor if you can't afford it. Like with my podcast, I'm a one-man army. I'm not going to have a whole bunch of miscellaneous people on my podcast if I can't afford to pay everybody. It has to be an in-house thing until the money is right enough for you to adequately pay people, especially if the people that are sitting in the seats are bringing in, or if I'm down with a situation, even if I'm not bringing sponsorships in, if my resources are being used and my relationships are being used to attract views and generate money, where's my cut? You know, so the business is not right all across the board. There's no contract signed. Everybody's running around trying to get nickel and dime. You know, YouTube is nickel and diming you. I'm gonna get money from here. Like, it's just too much. It's just not professional enough. And what did I say on your show, Chuck? I'm like, shoot, they need to like just revamp the set. It needs to just probably be one cameraman. You know what I'm saying? Math Hoffa, maybe one or two more co-hosts. Reel it in, build off that. Pay everybody adequately, and then when you could afford it, start bringing other people in, because people are going to say, where is my cut? I don't care if you're the person that's sweeping the shop. You deserve money too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and look, that's not the issue though, Angie, because apparently they was paid, and just like they're having discussions in the comments, which makes sense about the whole thing of an employee. An employee's supposed to add value. You know what I'm saying? Usually in an interview process, they're going to ask you them type of questions. Do you add value? And how do you
but
add
Jeff
this
Bezos
value?
didn't have a whole bunch of employees when he was in his garage with the Amazon sign. You have to know when you can afford certain amount of employees. You've ever worked at a company before where it was a small company with maybe 20 to 30 employees? That's what the company could afford. The company, it's seeming to me, is not at the level now where you could pay all of these people to the point that they're happy if everybody keeps leaving.
No, I think that it's just like, you know, unfortunately, you know what I'm saying, is in urban culture, it be that way. You feel me?
But
I think it's some urban culture shit.
That's
because you can do a spinoff. Like now, like say he ain't getting all the money from Math Hoffa show, but Math Hoffa cutting him a check. He on every episode, big episodes. So you telling me he can't, like, he already got the magazine, so he can funnel that in, double back, and go do events in clubs all across the country. Yo, what's up?
Yo, Chuck, come on, bro. Now we know why they fell out with Math. We know why. Because he told them they cannot be going on other people's platforms. Let's just be honest with it. Let's just be honest.
So it wasn't about the money?
He told them, listen, y'all on my platform. Y'all can't be going to this one's platform, that one platform. and that's it. Ayo,
No,
Angie, why
that
you say
ain't
you ain't no
it
funny
though. That
face?
ain't it. That ain't it.
I don't
That
know
ain't
who
it.
Funny Face is. He keep going from platform to platform saying he knows me. I don't know who is that. You, Bullets?
That ain't me. That ain't me.
I don't know who that person is. He went on the last platform I was at when I was doing a live and went in their comments saying that he knows me. He don't know me. I don't know you, Funny Face. But sorry, Chuck. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's just wild though. We gonna get back to it though. Let's listen to a little bit more of this.
Shit. You know why I didn't bring guests? I'm gonna let you say your part. The reason why I didn't get involved in bringing guests and using my your relationships, because I didn't want to keep getting in.
Hold up, man. Red flag on the play. Yo, Bullets, this a red flag on the play, man, because that man said that in previous interviews that he brung gas, bro.
Who? Esso?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, you know, you gotta look. I think what he said is Esso, and the same like what Champ is saying is, and even Mecca, right? That in the Hynaken is that they got strong industry ties, and they was bringing their friends on in on the show. Now, you know, Mad probably brought guests too, but I think what they saying is that they brought their industry friends on in and they pulled up on the platform. That's what Esso was saying, and that's what even Champ said. I think Champ was responsible for Tony Ayo coming up there. That's what I heard he said. He was responsible for
Yeah,
that.
he said it, but then now he said he wasn't responsible for the guests, but one of the guests that he said he brung up, Champ is saying he brung up. Let's
It's
get
Tony
to that.
Ayo, right?
Yeah, let's get to that.
Yeah, he said he brought Tony Ayo up there.
They both said they brung him up there. Who did it?
Oh, I don't know. I think both of them got like a relationship with Tony Ayo, you know. And
Man,
like,
they just seen Tony Yayo walk up in there and he's like, yo, he fucking with the podcast because he seen me on it because he know me.
But
come on, bro.
But didn't Esso say he brought DJ Clue up there too?
Yeah, he probably would have did that because
and he should have got a
DJ
booking
Clue his
fee.
man.
He should have got paid for that booking because I'm not going to use up all my resources and relationships with somebody that's not paying properly. I'm gonna stay quiet, just like Esso said he did.
Yeah, I mean, I
relationships is everything, especially if you got a guest-based podcast. If you have a guest-based podcast, a person who has relationships and resources could be extremely valuable because guess what? I book my own guests, and my friend, the one that I keep talking about that has a huge podcast, she books her own guests, and she's even at the point, and she got 5 million subs. She's like, I'm running out of guests. She's like, because I do all the booking of my own guests. And then there's another person who is super successful that has an agency that books guests that there's so many guests that just pass by their desk. They're like, I don't even know who this person is, but okay, I'll interview them. She's not at that point. She's booking her own guests. I'm booking my own guests. So somebody that comes to the mix with these relationships already there and resources, you gotta pay that person. You got to, because you're using and then on top of that, once the interview is done, that becomes your contact now. So that person just gave you that relationship. Hell no, I'm not giving my relationships and resources unless the bag is right, because you work hard to get your relationships and resources. And a lot of people are coming off the strength of you to the table. And now I'm not getting paid right. No, thank you. I would stay shut too.
No, I agree. I'm not saying that, you know, he should have compensate them, but I think what they should have did was like what LeBron does with his podcast. You know, if y'all look, The Shop, that's LeBron James, that's his guy Merrick Carter, and all of them, and his whole guys that do the podcast with HBO, and they all came in the podcast together. They took it from Apple and then brought it to HBO. See, what they all should have did was just had a pack, wait till the big check come in. They was trying to pitch it to Revolt. Esso got them a little situation, got them almost a situation with Revolt. And they could have been like Earn Your Leisure. Earn Your Leisure doing real good right now, you know, and they all came in there all together. It's three of them together on the whole podcast. So Mav and them could have all made a whole big bag if they just would have put their egos to the side. And Mav should have just let them do their thing. Let them go on other platforms so they could promote themselves too. You know, don't do that. That's what Queen Flip did. He told a lot of people, if you do an interview with certain people platforms, you can't come on mine. I think that's kind of fuck up and selfish. You know, once you got a platform, you know, share the wealth with everybody, because we all a team. But you know, people got their own decisions. Now, if Mav want to do it individually, then he should just do it individually. Don't have nobody else on the podcast. Like you said, he need to do it with no miscellaneous people. Just do it by himself and get like one other co-host, and that's it. But if you want to do it with like 5 or 6 people, you know, you gotta be a team play about that. You gotta sacrifice.
Right. Because every 5 or 6 people, everybody that got a seat earn their seat somehow. They're coming to the table with something. They're not, that's what they were saying at the beginning of the interview. People just thought we just sat here. But now that we're hearing what they brought to the table, it's like, if you don't have your business right, you shouldn't have this many people involved. Like, you gotta cut it down. And then when your business is right, you could expand and start paying different people. Because at this point, people not, you know, the math got a math for them. People have bills and shit like that. Like you can't just keep working for free. But I don't want to like spoil the interview, but Champ kind of goes to his pros and cons, how he's like, what's the sense of me being lit and everybody knowing who I am on the internet? And it's just not mathematical. Like, it's financially not working for me. Like, I don't, you know, like it's like, okay, I have the popularity, I have the relationships, people are seeing who I am, but I'm just not making the money, and it's just not working. And he said he had other streams of income, so it wasn't really, he was saying in the interview, he wasn't focusing solely on this opportunity to eat, but he was saying it was taking about 10 to 12 hours of his day. So you're putting in 12 hours of work. That's, I mean, most people that go to a full-time job is putting in 8 hours and an hour and a half of commuting each way. So if you're doing a 12-hour day and it's just not financially working for you, you got, like, I can see what he's talking about too. Like,
No, you right. You absolutely right. Hey, yo, sidebar, Angie. Capital punishment or ready to die.
oh my God. Oh, damn. I'm gonna say ready to die. But Pun is in my top 5. My top 5 rappers of all time is Biggie, Jay-Z, Nas, Pun, and Jadakiss. So I gotta put Biggie's album before Pun. But man, listen, R.I.P. both of them. They both legends. That's a hard one right there. But Big Pun, the legend, one of the greatest of all time, and Biggie is the greatest of all time. So yeah, damn, bullets. Jeez.
I knew you was going to be politically correct with it, Angie. I knew you was going to go with the politically correct answer.
I don't even want to choose between those two. But being that my order is Biggie first, then Jay-Z, then Nas, then Pun, then Kiss, I gotta put Big's album first before.
Hey, I've been having this conversation on Clubhouse where I've been telling people, like, some people will be like, is Kendrick Lamar bigger than, or if he on even the same level as Drake or J. Cole? And I tell them, like, in America, yes, Drake is an international star for sure, so he's bigger worldwide. But when it comes to in America, when you talk about Drake, you talk about Kendrick Lamar, you talk about J. Cole. Same thing when you talk about Kendrick or J. Cole, you talk about all of them guys right there. They came from the same freshman class. You feel me? So, me personally, it's just like the Jay-Z and 50 Cent thing. When I was coming up and 50 Cent had said that line, like, they don't know you overseas, they know Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yo, that's cap. Jay-Z bigger than 50 Cent. But in reality, 50 Cent was bigger than Jay-Z. That's crazy, overseas, right?
Yeah, overseas, yeah.
Yeah, overseas.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Worldwide.
But 50 Cent doesn't have an exhibit in the Brooklyn Library. Like, there's like a lot of stuff that Jay-Z did that surpassed 50 in so many ways, and that's a whole other thing to unpack. But yeah, I mean, 50 does well for himself, but Jay-Z's just on.
So you don't think that 50 and past Jay-Z, or even if he's on the same level?
No.
Hey, yo, now come on, Angie. Now come on.
He's gonna need because you have to understand that Jay-Z is already like 2 steps ahead. Like he's breaking barriers as far as being, a worldly exhibit in the New York City Brooklyn Library. And his exhibit is not like no tiny little album encased in glass. If you think of like a little exhibit that people go to a museum and see one little exhibit, to have, the cathedral ceilings, redone, the whole entire floor, like dedicated for you to go to the NFL. And all of the hip hop artists that you're seeing perform at halftime is because Jay-Z got in the NFL and was able to like direct the music. Like he's doing things at such like a higher level. Like, don't get me wrong, 50 with Power and the stuff he's doing in Hollywood is cool, but Jay-Z is just always like he's just on a different level. Like how Beyonce makes moves now. Every move that Beyonce makes is for her legacy now. It's because she's thinking iconically. Jay-Z, he makes moves for like legacy moves. He's done with the nickel and diamond deals of, oh, I got a deal in Hollywood for this show. He's thinking, how am I going to get in the NFL, the first African American, and now change the world? The Super Bowl with now Dr. Dre and this one and that one. Every hip hop act, every R&B act that you see in the Super Bowl is because it had to be a pioneer first, and it was Jay-Z that got in. So now he's thinking about, Beyonce is thinking, how am I going to be the first African American to change the genre of country? Like Jay-Z and Beyonce are like so far ahead that, I mean, I'm not going to say 50 is a slouch, but there's no he's just not. That's my opinion. Y'all are both on mute. I can't hear y'all.
I'm not gonna lie. I think because New York is biased, is Jay-Z biased. That's why he gets the credit. Now I'm not gonna lie. The 50 Cent impact, the 50 Cent, I would say what he did on the mixtape level was huge as an artist, and basically him coming in the game, taking over how he did because Ja Rule was the face at that time. He was the guy. Everybody loved Ja Rule. I still like Ja Rule, but 50 Cent just did something that nobody, I think, has ever done in hip hop, to go sign with Dr. Dre and Eminem, sell the amount of units that he did, off of just, Eminem sacrificing his fan base and himself to promote this guy that basically was shot 9 times. Like, the story was just a whole movie. And then to give us G-Unit, The Game, Young Buck, Lloyd Banks, he gave us a lot of success at that time. Now, Jay-Z, on the other hand, I think with Jay-Z, his thing was, the death of Biggie Smalls, him going at Nas, and, Hot 97, I'm going to be honest, was very Jay-Z biased. The DJs love Jay-Z. I think that's why he's very successful, because he just knows how to move, and he know how to, have the DJs in his pocket and in his corner, because for so many years, Jay-Z couldn't go no wrong in the city. They just love Jay-Z. I don't care what borough you from, whether you from the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, they all gonna say Jay-Z, especially when he retired. Yeah, I went to his concert when he retired, and the way the people was crying just for him, they wanted him to come back. Like, they just loved the guy. You know what I'm saying?
Jay-Z is the hip hop Frank Sinatra. Like, he
is
timeless. Jay-Z could come like at 80 years old and do a concert, and all of us are gonna pop out at 80. Like, it's on a different level. You know what I mean?
No, you right, Angie. He is the hip hop Frank Sinatra. I mean, he said it himself. Like, Jay-Z can do 4 or 5 shows at Barclays and even in the Garden, and people are going to still go and pay for those tickets, even if the tickets is high. They still going to pay for those tickets.
Fact.
They still going to go see him and his wife.
Yeah.
They still going to support him.
He's a legacy act, the same way Beyonce is. Beyonce gonna be able to do what Tina Turner did and do shows until she croak or until she decides to retire. And Jay-Z is that type of artist. Like, But not to negate what M, Dre, and 50 did, they definitely were legendary. But I just think that the business-wise, like Jay-Z owning the teams and the NFL and just Beyonce infiltrating country like them two is it's a different level of
No, that's
success.
true, Angie. I mean, he basically monopolized the industry. I mean, Rock Nation is the biggest management company out here.
Yeah,
It's bigger than Violators. Let's just be
right.
honest. So he did something that Chris Lighty was trying to do for so many years that he was able to do, and he did it in so many different avenues: sports, movies, music. So he capitalized that in a major way.
Yo,
So
Mo, have a good day.
so yeah, Jay-Z is successful in that in hip hop. So I have to give him that. When you doing the Super Bowl and you control the performances of every Super Bowl right
Yeah.
now, that means that you are somebody that the industry has to talk to. So yeah, he's that dude.
Behind the bar, hey, I'm sending you the link, bro. Come up here. But that's crazy. So look, we're gonna go into another topic with the game and Rick Ross. So Rick Ross been trolling with Louis Vuitton. You know what I'm saying? That's what he been put up the bowl, put up the badge. Game said that he trolling back with his LV to LV. I'm sick of these rap niggas. You know what I'm saying? Do y'all think that Rick Ross should even respond back to the game?
Well, Rick Ross, let me just say this, and I'm gonna give it the energy. I'm gonna say this right. Rick Ross, and I'm gonna be all the way technically honest. Since Rick Ross been in the game, he's promoted every album with beefing, right? We gotta remember, his beef with 50 Cent, and then before 50 Cent, his Trick Daddy beef, which that's how he got exposed with the whole CO. Now, I think Rick Ross make good music. He got great production. He has an ear for beats. And I think his production always says when he does the right records with the right artists. But I must be honest, this is what the game does. The game and him is really the same type of artist. They go and diss people, and promote their albums. The game, I'm gonna be honest with you, the first two albums are classics. I don't care what nobody say. Documentary was one of my favorite albums, still my favorite album to this day. I still play it front to back. Doctor's Advocate was a solid album also because that was the album that he showed that he didn't need Dr. Dre, he didn't need 50 Cent, and he carried himself, and that was a big album, and he did well even in New York. So a lot of artists don't do well, especially when you dissing the biggest guy in New York at that time, 50 Cent, and you do extremely well. The game was able to do that. Now, as time progresses and we start seeing the game does a lot of trolling. The game done a lot of stuff that people may not like, but the game, you can't take his musical talent. You can't take his success in the game. You can't take he's a legacy. He is a legacy in his own right because of what he did coming out, bringing the West Coast back because before the game, the West Coast wasn't even a factor. It was just the South and the North and the Midwest. And then when the game came out, it was the West again. So he basically gave us the Nipsey Hussles and the Kendricks and all that. A lot of people was mad with the game because he didn't support Kendrick in this battle. But you got to understand he has a good relationship with Drake. Drake is his guy. He did music with Drake. So that's why he's rocking with Drake. And Rick Ross was out of line for going at Drake. So I'm going to give this to Angie.
I mean, yeah, like this is my opinion. I'm not, a raw stand or a game stand, but I kind of live for Game inserting himself in this and going at Ross because first of all, I just don't like the whole everybody jumping Drake kind of situation. I already think that's unfair. And I think Ross is really corny with his involvement in this because first of all, you're naming yourself, you want to talk about Drake, but you're naming yourself Rick Ross. The actual Rick Ross don't even like you. Okay. So you're naming yourself Rick Ross after a well-known national legendary drug dealer. You're not, you're nowhere on that level. So you renamed yourself Rick Ross. But you're a CEO in your past life. So you were, a correctional officer, but you rebranded yourself to name yourself Rick Ross. I don't believe you. I don't believe your raps. And you know, you got some songs that's cool and stuff like that, but inserting yourself into this whole Drake thing, you're not better than Drake. And then Drake is fighting all these people on his own. And at the end of the day, I kind of live for Game jumping in against Ross, because at the end of the day, Game could rap. And if this is a battle and it's really about bars and lyrics and rap, I'm sorry, but I think Game could really get at Ross, you know, because his whole image and just the fakery of it all. And then when you think about it, when Ross was beefing with 50, how 50 was able to get Ross's baby mother to go against him, that whole thing is messy. So it's like, Ross, you don't even have your life together. You want to talk about Drake and all these things. It's like your baby mom is disloyal because she's running around over there with 50. You're a whole CO, but you rebranded to this national drug dealer that doesn't even like you. You're putting this belly, okay, you own the champagne, the cheap $30 champagne that you're trying to force us to drink that tastes nasty. It's cool, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, bro, like you don't even have your stuff all in order. You're very corny to me with this. So I kind of live for Game getting at him, because I'm almost like, yeah, get him, Game, you know, because Game is about that action. And at the end of the day, it's like, I don't see Game as like a fraud, or, you know, he got the street cred and stuff and he could rap. So I kind of live for it. I'm like, go ahead, Game, get him. So at least somebody's helping Drake in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody chip in for Drake, please.
No, that's true, Angie. And you kind of right about the cheap liquor. Like I had Ross champagne last year, the first time I ever drunk Bel Air. I never drunk Bel Air before. I was at a party and they was done with all the rosé and they just had just Bel Air and they had the blue bottle. And Angie's right, it's nasty. It's
nasty and cheap.
Nasty. It's nasty and cheap. I'm not gonna lie. And like Rick Ross do have good music, but like Angie said, he just, you know, he's not honest in what he did in his past. He was a correctional officer. He lied about being a correctional officer. We all remember him going on interviews trying to make a whole lot of superficial theatrical movie type shit, trying to say that the big homie made him do this and that. And
yeah, it was more sinister.
It was more sinister. So I think the thing with Ross is like Angie said, you know, he just lies, and that's why people just can't believe anything Ross says. And this is why his baby mother's on the internet going at him every day. So it's like Angie said, the Game is going to get him. And Ross, you know, he's not going to respond because he went and started with Drake. You know, Drake gave this man his biggest hit record, Aston Martin. You know, so he has to thank Drake and guys like Lil Wayne for giving him his biggest hits. You know, he didn't go out there and say, oh, I went and made my own biggest hits on my own. He needed other artists. Like BMF, he needed Styles P. You know, that record wouldn't do as well if he didn't have Styles P on the record. Let's just be honest. You know, so I think a lot of times people think Ross is this guy that everybody likes. We like his music because he made good music for the clubs and he made good, you know, catchy records because of his production. But we don't put Rick Ross in our top 5, top 10s, or top 20s. We just look at him as a guy that made good, catchy records that we hear in the club and we can't deny it. And that's how he was able to win in the 50 battle, because he just had good, catchy records. So the radio and the DJs just went behind him. But if he didn't have the DJs and the radio behind him, you know, Ross would have been like every other artist that we see here today going tomorrow, you know?
Right. And then on top of that, the real gag is that Drake doesn't need all these artists that's going against them. The real gag is Drake doesn't need any of them, right?
That's true.
Drake's biggest hits is not ones where they were featured on it. You know, it was cool when all these artists was using Drake for hooks, or Drake was jumping on them, giving them a verse, and Drake the biggest artist, because the truth of the matter is Drake popped off, even though he came out in what, 07 or 08. He popped off. Yeah, he popped off in like 09, 2010. And the reality is from 2010 to 2024, he has had a consistent run where this man has been on top and has not sat down. So the true gag is that it doesn't matter if it's Kendrick, if it's Future, if it's Ross, however many people is going against him and jumping him. The gag is Drake at the end of the day don't really need y'all. So even if y'all feel like y'all won the battle, he won the war, because he's still going to continue to be on top, and Ross could never reach that level of success that Drake has reached for the last 14 years. You're never going to look like Drake. You're never going to have that appeal that Drake has. You're not going to be Drake. So I don't care how much y'all are jealous.
But the real gag is Meek Mill sold more records than Rick Ross, and that was his artist.
Wow, you see that?
You know, so it's like your own artist sold more records than you, and not only that, the last project that you released.
Well, Rick Ross don't have a platinum album.
Yeah, he don't got a platinum album. Meek Mill got a bunch of platinum albums. He got like three platinum albums. So if Meek Mill is your artist and he got 3 platinum albums and you don't got none, that just shows that, like Angie just said, you're not on the same levels of Drake. And the thing is, you're not even on the same levels of Game, because at least Game got 2 successful albums.
Yeah.
I mean, Ross' last project didn't do so well with Meek Mill. You know, nobody remembers that project that he did with Meek Mill. You know, we might remember like 2 good records on there, the Shaq and Kobe record and the other couple records on there, but we don't know that whole album because it just came and went. So Ross hasn't been putting out anything that's been, you know, I would say, and I think it's his production, Angie. I just think it's his production that saved him. It's the people that he do this work with, he do production with. Like if he does a song with Just Blaze,
Ross. I think Ross did write for Drake, and that's what I think he said that before, that he wrote for Drake, and Drake sold more than Lil Wayne. Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah, Drake sold more than Lil Wayne, but you see, like people don't understand Drake is an artist that can tap in so many lanes
with mass appeal.
With mass appeal. So Drake
is
behind
the bar. Salute.
Hey, what's going on? How y'all doing?
Oh, salute.
Hey, Angie, how you doing?
Hello.
Okay. I want to
Did it work from your phone?
Nah, I had to use my laptop.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna chime in on the conversation. First and foremost, I don't want to see a ex stripper and an ex CEO battle rap on each other. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of, to me, you know what I mean? I think it doesn't even make sense to me. You know what I mean? This guy, Rick Ross, is just pretty much clout chasing. He's a comedian, you know what I mean? Nobody can really take him seriously anyway. But I want to disagree with you, Angie. Drake does have help. He had Tupac on one of his diss tracks. I mean, that's the best help you could get, right?
14 years later, after he already established his career. Like he just put Pac on his record. Like Drake is already established. He didn't need Pac to pop.
Nah, that was a joke. You know what I'm saying? Like, how you gonna?
I hear what you're saying though.
Yeah, how you gonna insert a dead rapper in this particular?
That was super creative though, and the fact that we don't have like AI laws like that yet put in place, that was kind of creative to do that, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, why wait until like a diss happens to even insert somebody like Snoop Dogg? Snoop Dogg ain't trying to be in nobody's beef right now. You know what I mean? But that's neither here nor there. You know,
I definitely think that that Drake, you know, even with Kendrick though, Kendrick had some questionable moments in that battle too, when he was like, "Yo, you want it with Compton?" Like Drake wanted with you, nigga, not Compton. He was like, "Oh, your last stop gonna be in the Bay Area?" Like Drake support the Bay, you know what I'm saying? He always supporting the Bay movement. He support shit all around this country, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he in one of his songs he represented Mac Dre and everything on one of his songs and everything like that. So, infamous battle that happened with Beanie Sigel versus Jadakiss, and Jadakiss said a powerful line in his song. He was like, "Don't be a coward and try to turn Philly against me." You know what I mean? So if that happened, and he tried to turn Compton against Drake, that's a really corny move. You know what I mean? To try to get a whole city, and that's how that's how real problems happen when you try to insert the people that have nothing to do with it. We as the consumers are just supposed to be, you know, entertained by the music, and let's not involve anything like street stuff. I think that's kind of corny.
Yeah, there's so many things that's happening in this battle that's corny to me. It's the trolling of it all. It's the false allegations of it all. It's everything. It's all the antics and all the what's the word that I'm looking for? Not scam, but it's just all the theatrics of it all. And it's really not really about the music like the past beefs. You know, Jay-Z said something in Ether that crossed the line about condoms on the baby seat that he retracted and apologized. Like these people are just saying the most egregious stuff. They're calling people the P word. They're calling putting P allegations on people and, stuff with minors and making up, kids, adding kids in there. And, Rick Ross with his theatrics, and it's starting to become, is this about the music or is this about trying to cancel Drake? Or like even with Kendrick trying to rally the whole West Coast against him. It's like, bro, like at the end of the day, like I said this from the beginning, me personally, I don't think Kendrick put enough work in to even have a spot on the Mount Rushmore. But again, I don't get in this generation's business. My Mount Rushmore is, the Biggie, the Jay-Z, the Nas, the Pun, the Jadakiss. Like, I'm not even in this generation where the big three is Cole, Drake, and Kendrick. Like, that's not my demographic as far as like, my opinion. Because like when I got on Clubhouse and you got people who are 10 to 20 years younger than me praising those big three, that's their Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas. So I really don't have a say on that. But I always thought Kendrick didn't put enough work in to even have that spot in the Mount Rushmore. And now you come in to where it's like, all right, you in this beef. Now people who didn't even know who you are on the national level know who you are. And now you're trying to get the whole West Coast against Drake. And it's like, at the end of the day, his catalog and what he has done the last 14 years, I'm sorry, Kendrick, but you
and then one thing that he said, though, he was like people was all on my comments. They was like, yo, game, clout chasing and all this. And then somebody left a comment. They were right. They like, yo, if you saying game clout chasing, Rick Ross clout chasing, how he get involved in the Drake beat?
Exactly. They're all clout chasing at this point. They're all clout chasing at this point. Everybody that's jumping in against Drake is clout chasing at this point. It's become a spectacle.
What is Rick Ross' issue with Drake? I'm confused because they made a lot of hit records together. I'm lost on that part. Anybody know?
You say what was that?
I was reading the chat. Say that again.
What is Rick Ross' issue with Drake? Because they made a lot of great hits
he
together.
His issue is that he sent a cease and desist to French Montana.
So what that got to do with Drake? Okay, I guess so. Okay.
Drake said he didn't do it.
Oh, okay. Oh, Drake sent a cease and desist to French Montana. Okay.
Yeah, and the French Montana his boy, so he mad about it.
Gotcha. Okay, so he's pretty much inserting himself in the beat. Okay. And something else y'all said, earlier about the Matt Hoffa situation. Here's how I look at it, right? I don't think Matt Hoffa should have those people that are his co-hosts, his employees. I think he should rotate the barbershop seats for internship for up and coming bloggers and everything like that you don't have to pay, because on a platform like that has 1 million subscribers, it's automatically a good look for up and coming, bloggers or content creators or people that commentate on hip hop, like a Death of a Clout Chaser, like a Bullet Scotty, like Behind the Bar, like people like on YouTube that does this on
like
a lower
an Energy's
level.
World.
You see, I'm not too familiar with you. You know what I'm saying? So, see,
get familiar, babe.
Now that I know that you're a podcaster, see, you will be an example of that as well. You know what I mean? And that would keep the cost at a minimum. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure people like us wouldn't mind going up there talking to big name celebrities as an internship to promote what we got going on in our own situation, on our own channels, on our own brand. You know what I mean? That's how I would look at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No doubt.
If you rotate those chairs, and I think Champs in the interview did say something that he mentioned something similar like that to Math, but he didn't want to do it. But again, even if this person is an intern that they're going on your podcast, to promote themselves, there still needs to be a certain level of they're coming on your podcast, so it's still going to cost money to have them on there, whether they come, like I've been on people's podcasts, and some people, you come there, they may feed you, you may have alcohol there, they may handle your transportation. You know what I'm saying? It's still going to cost money, even if somebody's coming for free on your podcast, because they're still doing you a service, even though it might be promotion for them. You're still going to have to spend a certain level of some type of money, even if you have a guest-based podcast, unless you do it like this way, where they're just jumping on and you guys are talking like that. But if they physically come into your studio, like, you're gonna have to put out some type of craft services, whether it's a snack, a freaking drink of water. Like, okay, I handle your transportation, send them a black car, Uber, something. You know what I mean? Because people not going to want to just be, especially like if it's at the level they're at, you know, this is not just some homeboy records in the basement of a closet and you just coming in there off the strength. Like, nah, it's going to cost some type of money to have people around you in there. You know what I mean?
So let me ask you something, Angie. So at the time when the Breakfast Club was looking for a female co-host, and if they consider you to be the third party on the Breakfast Club, would you be upset if they didn't offer you, like you just said, the liquor or the food or the transportation? Would you come out your own pocket to get there, feed yourself, in order to be able to possibly get that role or get the exposure? Would you be upset if they didn't do them extra amenities for you?
Well, those amenities, when you talk about the Breakfast Club, that's under, you know, that's under a brand, which is, you know, the iHeart brand. And they're like, it's not like we're going to, it's not like I'm going to, like, if Chuck is doing a podcast, you know, out of his studio in his house and he's like, yo, Angie, just come over. No, I'm not going to expect transportation, him to do these things. Maybe as a host, he'll have the amenities there for his guests. I don't care if you're dead broke. You can have a cheap bottle of Bel Air there for somebody. You know what I'm saying? People are going to be like, oh, I'm coming spending 3 hours with you. I'm parched. Can I have a water? You know what I'm saying? Like, people are not going to just not do anything.
Right.
You know,
yeah, no, that's a fact.
Like when it comes to the Breakfast Club, like you're going to get certain amenities if you are the third host there, because this is not something they're putting together themselves. They're all signed to this higher entity. So you're going to have certain perks. So the Breakfast Club is really not a good example.
I see.
Hey, let me correct this comment real quick. So I was wrong when I said Rick Ross didn't have any platinum albums. He actually have one. The platinum album is Port of Miami, his first album. You know what I'm saying? That was through Slip and Slide and Def Jam. All the other platinums he got is singles.
Okay, and the point I was basically trying to make with the Breakfast Club is that there's a famous quote that Charlamagne the God says. He says, some people don't realize the opportunity until there's a paycheck attached to it. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, somebody like me, I wouldn't mind going up to like a Math Hoffa show and not expecting anything, just be able to have my presence there and be able to ask a few questions in order to promote my own podcast. But
right, but then their guest base, okay, you got to understand, having people who are on the come up as your predominant guests just to save costs is not going to drive the views in. You know, when you have a Tony Rock and you have guests to this certain caliber that the cast members are helping bring in is what's helping drive the views. If he turns around and says, okay, we're going to cut costs now and just have miscellaneous people that no one knows on every single episode, you think they're going to get $1 million? You think they're going to get 1 million views an episode? If he says, oh, I'm going to have Angie's World Podcast as my guest next week. Who the F is Angie's World Podcast? No one cares. They might check it out and be like, okay, she's cool, but he cannot guarantee and rely on interns and free work and free labor to carry his podcast. Like, I just don't think that's a good business move. I see what you're saying. Maybe have a segment every Thursday where it's like an on the come up thing where people are coming and whatever. But then even that gets old, because let me tell you something. I graduated college in, what was it, 2008. I did my internships at Shade 45. I was at Eminem's radio station. I did free labor at Sirius Satellite Radio. I did a whole bunch of free labor after I graduated. That free labor stuff gets old for a little while. When you start to hear, if you was to go back and you was to listen to this Champs interview and he talks about all the free labor he did, when that starts cutting into 12 to 13 hours of your day, I don't care how much people you meet in through this person. I don't care how life, whatever connects you getting by being around people. That free labor stuff gets old after a while. At some point, if it's taking up 12 to 13 hours of your day, you need a check, especially if you're bringing in guests, especially if you're cleaning for free, if you're doing this for free, if you're doing that. That intern stuff works for a little while, but this is not back in the day in my generation. These new interns, they want a bag. You got to pay people. This is not. And then as a boss, that free work, you could get away with that, but for so long. But when you start having a team that's working for you for free, that's when they start taking from the boss. You got to keep your team fed. A lot of people don't know business. You can't have free labor. And I'm not saying Math Hoffa is doing this, but going back to what you're saying, just have interns work for you for free. That's cute for a little while. but you're not going to have longevity with just people working for you for free. I don't care how many people you meeting and whatever exposure you getting, that's not a long-term plan right there, because then they're going to start taking from you. At the end of the day, they're starting to see that you getting all the money and they working for free, and it's taking 13 hours of their day, and they walking away, getting on the train with no. I did all that. I've worked for the big wigs that's getting in all the bread, and then I'm leaving with a Metro card in my pocket, getting on a train with $0, while everybody else that I contributed to the situation is making it bad. Did all that back in the day. Like, that gets old very quickly. Trust me.
Yeah, you're making great points there, but sometimes you got to be able to utilize certain resources while you're out.
And I'm not talking about Math Hoffa, because I'm looking at the comments. At this situation, I'm not saying that Math Hoffa is doing this with his people. I'm just saying the behind the bar, like when he said, oh, he should rebrand his podcast and just get people who are on the come up to just work for free there. I was saying if he were to do that, that's not going to work. I am in no way, let me clarify that again, saying Math Hoffa was using his friends as interns to work for free. I am not saying that.
So when I look at Champ, right, and he's going on this tour of basically, he's saying the same thing on every show he goes to. You know what I'm saying? I done seen him on about 6 or 7 different YouTube channels / podcasts giving his side of the story. To me, he sounds like he's bitter at this point. For him to even interview himself and talk to himself, he's at the point where he was already in the seat, but now it almost seems like he's clout chasing and kind of regretting what he did, because here you were in the seat, and yeah, there may be times where you may not be able to get compensated fully, but it's no iron team. Sometimes you gotta wait. Rome wasn't built in a day. You know what I mean? I guarantee kicking himself in the butt on the last interview that he did when he went on what's my guy Hynaken and Esso show, when he went on there, Bag Fuel. He said that he randomly saw Math Hoffa at a spot and tried to pull him to the side to have a conversation. And Math Hoffa said, I don't want to talk to you. You know what I mean? So that told me that Champ regrets what he did, because now he's sitting there trying to have a conversation with Math Hoffa, and I'm assuming he's trying to work things out. But at this point, the damage is already done. You can't do nothing about it anymore. And Math Hoffa, because he said he must have tried to grab Math Hoffa by the arm to come downstairs and talk to him. Math Hoffa said, I have nothing to say to you now. So it is what it is. He kicked himself in the butt. You know what I mean?
But in this interview, once you listen to it, you'll see that he's not trying to reconcile with him. Like, he's doing his own thing and he got his own stuff going on. But yeah, it's just like, I don't know, man. Like, I just think that you were saying Rome is not built in a day. I mean, at this point, with the success of the podcast, with the amount of subscribers they have, with the secondary income, with the Patreon, there's too many elements that is going on for the business not to be situated at this point. This is not a startup where, I'm turning on, we're in my house and my house is the little set and we have 2 cameras and a freaking intern being my camera crew person. And now we're trying to build something. This is beyond that. Where the show is right now, the caliber that it's at, the business should be a little bit more real than it is, in my personal opinion. But again, this is just me being an armchair quarterback, just sitting on a freaking couch right here, just judging. So again, I don't know the whole scope of the story, but as a person that's watching this, I'm like, this is too late in the game for all of this nonsense not to be where it needs to be. And then if you continue to watch the interview, Esso says something about structure. It needs structure. It just needs a lot. We didn't watch the whole interview, but I suggest you guys really watch it and then form an opinion on what y'all think, because my opinion was one way. And then after I watched the interview, I kind of thought about things from both sides.
Oh, for sure. Hey, you got anything else, man?
Oh, that's it, man. Thanks for having me.
Oh, no doubt, bro. Shout out your platform.
Oh yeah, man. Y'all can find me at my YouTube channel. It's Behind the Bar 3.0. That's Behind DABAR 3.0. Come check me out. We talk about similar things that we're talking about right now. I have a show where I'm giving my opinion on what's going on between Math and his co-host. I actually have, I don't know if you've seen it, Chuck, but I have an interview with Math Hoffa. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I seen it.
maybe I have a bias because he was humble enough to come on my channel and didn't charge me a dime to give me a whole hour interview to discuss his situation when he fell out with Space Ghost. You know what I mean? So that was a great look for my channel. So, you know, it is what it is, man. I wish all parties involved the best, you know, however it comes out. And it is what it is. And Angie's World, I never heard of you, but I will subscribe to you. Where's your information?
Thank you. I'm youtube.com/Angie's World. You could probably click on my icon, like maybe you could click on my face inside this chat and just you know, subscribe. I got an interview up there with Chuck. I've interviewed my song, Gully TV, a whole bunch of different people, porn stars, authors, like just whoever I think is cool or whoever I have relationships with, because I put my own guests. You know what I mean? So like, you know, I do my own stuff. So people just do it off the strength. I don't have no big, huge platform. It's just people, my relationships and people that think I'm cool. They just come on the platform. You know what I mean? I'm building. I don't claim to be this big person. I don't have a lot of money to pay people. This is not that. So that's why I said I'm just giving my opinion from watching. And yeah, you know, I just interview people I think is cool from all walks of life. You know, my whole thing is empower, uplift, and inspire people. You know what I mean? Like I look up to people like Angie Martinez and Oprah.
Your voice sound like Angie Martinez. Your voice sound like Angie Martinez.
Yeah, she was my inspiration growing up and stuff. Wow. And I just love her. I love Oprah. I just want to just make. I like to have conversations that push the culture forward, that push things forward. I like to. You know, just have substance and people that I think is cool. I just ask them to come on the pod and they do it and they don't have to do it. And that's it. I'm building, I'm working. And I just salute you, Chuck, and, you know, Bullets Gotti and everybody that's doing this thing. You know, it's not easy.
I'm about to drop down, but last question before I go, and I'm going to drop down before you even answer. Who's your favorite porn star? Have a good day.
Not who's our favorite porn star. I'm crying. Check out my interview with Makana Man, though. He's a porn star and he did a really good interview. So shout out to Makana Man.
Shout out that. Y'all go check that out on our podcast, man, for sure. But salute. We definitely came in and had that discussion. You know, we definitely didn't go through all of the interview. I want y'all to go check out the interview on their platform. You know what I'm saying? Give them views. And you know, come back in the comments because we did say a lot. You know what I'm saying? And some parts I was sent behind the scenes, like, yo, check out this. So it definitely was dope. And Angie, she actually seen the full interview.
Yeah, y'all check it out. And if you get a chance, Chuck, check it out. Even if you got to switch to 3 times speed and just go through it like that, or just like, you know, do other things when y'all listen to it, you know, wash the dishes or ride in your car, whatever. But fully listen to it, because I feel like after I listened to the full interview, I was able to kind of like see things from both sides.
They said they can't find you. Drop your link in the chat.
Okay, hold on right now. I'm gonna do it right now. Angie's World is one word, so it's youtube.com/Angie's World, one word. Angie's World. So it's youtube.com/Angie's World. Or I think if you click on my face, it should take you. Maybe it should take you to the URL. But if you put Angie's World, A-N-G-I-E.
No, you got to be a moderator for it to do that.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Hey, Main threw it down there. Main put it in the chat.
I think he put his. I think he put his channel in there. That might be his. I don't know. Can y'all find me? Oh, he put it in there.
Yeah, he put it in there.
Yeah, so check me out, guys. And I have an interview on there with Chuck. And I even have the interview clips that we did with Space Ghost and Math Hoffa. You guys could check that out too to see what they had to say. I didn't speak to Champs, but I believe Chuck did. So check out that.
I definitely did. Couple of times.
Check out all the tea. Chuck, you got all
Champ,
everybody.
I think he a cool dude, you know what I'm saying? Champ, I definitely think he a cool dude, and I appreciate him for coming on the platform. We even discussed some shit that went on with him and Zip with the Drip at a concert. So y'all definitely go check that out, man.
Check it out. And shout out to Chuck, man. Thank you for having me on the platform and you know, to discuss this and stuff like that. I hope I didn't offend anybody, because I could be very opinionated, but I had to.
No, that's what it's about. Man. That's why I had you on. Because it's dope. I appreciate you even coming on, because I know you had a strong opinion, and I wanted my audience to hear that, you know what I'm saying? And they can get in tune with you, and shit politics just the way they do over here.
And it's not easy though, because I get it. It's like we're watching people's growing pains, right? So a lot of people don't have that guidance when it comes to business, and they don't have certain connections. And like, even they were saying in the interview, like, he comes from battle rap. So this is what Champs and them was saying in the interview, like, Math Hoffa's used to being very competitive and coming from a place where he had to fight for everything he has. And like, they kind of were like giving like a psychoanalysis on him a little bit in there. And I get it. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I'm not faulting Math either 100%, because like people are growing in front of us, and like you got to make mistakes and stuff like that. But I just think that, you might have to reel in your podcast and condense it to what you could really afford comfortably until, certain things start moving the way that it should be. And one more thing, Chuck, I want to say before we leave. What do you think about Math Hoffa now putting his full podcast episodes behind paywalls, behind a Patreon paywall? So right now, if you go on his pod, you could see clips of the interview. But if you want to check out the full interview, you have to pay for it. I think that could be a very bad move. I don't think that he should put his podcast.
I'm still thinking he's gonna clip it up, so people still gonna be able to see it, and if they go to the playlist, they can just run through the videos. You know what I'm saying? But I do think that at the level that he's on, and you got the likes of like Joe Budden, Queens Flip, you know what I'm saying, different guys like that, they do put certain content behind paywalls on Patreon.
And I think that's a bad
it's
like
industry standard though, almost, because you're gonna have people that's gonna rock with the Patreon, but then you're gonna have people that doesn't. Vlad TV put his behind the YouTube paywall when he first started dropping the clips. You can watch the full interview. It might take 10, 15 clips for it to come out, maybe a month. But if you want to, you can go watch it from day one. And also, what he does though, he does put the full version eventually on YouTube.
Yeah, I think it's a bad business move to put the full interviews behind a paywall, because it turns people off. The whole thing is like, whatever that you did to get to where you're at, the support of the people, don't take that away from them. Give them the full episode and give your patrons something special. And that's where people mess up. Like, you can do extended podcasts.
That's something good. Yep.
You could do extended podcasts on Patreon. So you give them the full interview. Let's say you have Chris Rock. You give YouTube an hour with Chris Rock and then say, yo, head over to Patreon. My Patreon people, we're going to do an extended half with Chris Rock. Or whoever. I'm just saying, like, do special packages for them at Patreon, but don't cut off your main, don't do that to your
what you already been doing.
Right, because that turns people off. Like, all of a sudden now you just slammed the door in their face and said, okay, you want to see the full video? Now go to Patreon. People are like, I'm not paying for that. But if they feel, if you give somebody something as if you're giving them something special, they're going to go over there and pay for it. But now that you just cut off their supply that you've been giving them for free the whole time, they're not going to feed you in return. Like, I never understood that whole, oh, we're doing an interview with this person, now I'm going to put the entire interview behind a paywall. You don't do it like that. You got to continue to give, because at the end of the day, these are regular people that are supporting you, regular people with bills and all that. And if they're already giving their money to streaming services, they're already spending money on your super chat. These people don't have extra money to keep paying per interview that you want to put behind a paywall. It's going to turn people off. I don't think that was a good move to now lock up your interviews.
Well, my question is, does them interviews ever get to like full version, never touch YouTube?
No, because I don't think so, because I saw a live that Math Hoffa did, and he was like, the live where he was talking about the Drake beef, and he was like, I'm putting my full interviews behind. He said, I'm putting them on Patreon now because I noticed that people are not watching the full interview. Like, he said something like, people aren't watching the full interview on YouTube, so now he's only going to keep the clips on YouTube and put the full interviews on Patreon. That's not a good move, because guess what? There's people, if you put a 2-hour interview out, maybe somebody might watch the first 20 minutes and then they got to stop and go to work or whatever. And then they'll come back and you'll get another view. Because I do that all the time. You know, if it's a 3-hour podcast, I might listen to the first hour, go do what I got to do, then come home. Maybe I got things to do. I'll play it again. So people will get through those interviews, but you shouldn't lock them up like that to your fans who you've been like, I don't know. I just think that that's tacky. I think you should do something special for the people on Patreon that are paying. But if you're already feeding people one way, don't cut them off like that. And a lot of these people just don't have money to keep giving you every time you want to go over there and drop an interview. It's crazy. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
No, for sure. No, I get what you're saying. Like, a lot of people mottos, they definitely eventually put the episode on YouTube.
They should.
But, you know, if you know, a lot of times you can see the analytics. A lot of people don't watch the full video in its entirety. So, you know what I mean? So I guess that may be a situation where he pulling them back because the viewership is not there. So maybe if they support the old episodes or something like that, he'll pop them out. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I like for a long time, I didn't even chop down interviews. I just put the whole thing out, boom, bow.
Yeah,
but
me too.
It is certain parts of the interview where people don't get to see, you know what I'm saying? Because they might have watched it for 20 minutes, then they forgot about it, went to something else. And, you know, that good question might have been in 30 minutes in, 40 minutes in, you know? So, you know, it's definitely, like you said, I guess it's similar to, you know, somebody doing a sponsorship. You know, it's like getting your people to pay, be proud to pay, you know what I'm saying? Like Nipsey, you know what I'm saying? Be proud to pay for that particular type of content.
Yeah, because my thing is like a whole bunch of clips get on my nerves, and I hate when Vlad does that too, because I'm the type of person that just likes to press play and watch the whole interview. It's like it's almost like it's like those clips are a tease. It's like foreplay. I'm trying to get to the main event. When the F does the full interview come out? I cannot stand. Do not clip me to death. Put the damn interview out and let me just watch it at my own pace or listen to it. Because if you clip me to death, that shit, I hate when Vlad does it. I don't like the Man Hoffa one. I will sit there and ignore all the clips and go straight to the area where it says full episodes and play out of that. I don't want to be clipped to death. But I do get like clips does help build the anticipation. But now if he's just going to be a clips channel, and all his full interviews are all of a sudden now are going to be over on Patreon. I'm not paying for that, sir. I'm so sorry. I'm just not. And I don't think people all of a sudden are going to do that. You cannot expect that. You can't expect that from people. They don't have it now. That now they got to pay over there. Like, no, people just don't have the money for all that right now.
For sure, man. We going to get up out of here, though. I appreciate you coming through, giving us a blessing. You know what I'm saying? You came through with your thoughts, your opinions. You know what I'm saying? Y'all definitely go get in tune with NG World's podcast.
Thank you,
Salute to you, though.
Thank you, Chuck. Salute to you, Chuck. Shout out to everybody. Have a blessed day, y'all.
Peace.
Deuces.